go somewhere with new and used options. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Concrete Industries has immediate openings for production laborers, operators, and drivers. Earn great pay starting at $21.50 per hour, plus health benefits, 401k, paid time off, and more. Right now, production laborers can earn a $1,500 hiring bonus, and drivers are eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. No experience? No problem. Concrete Industries offers on-the-job training and opportunities to grow your career. Start your future today. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Concrete Industries has immediate openings for production laborers, operators, and drivers. Earn great pay starting at $21.50 per hour, plus health benefits, 401k, paid time off, and more. Right now, production laborers can earn a $1,500 hiring bonus, and drivers are eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. No experience? No problem. Concrete Industries offers on-the-job training and opportunities to grow your career. Start your future today. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Are you looking for a place to host company get-togethers, team meetings, or group events? Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the perfect place to host your gathering, with private bays available to meet with clients while you swing the sticks and improve your game. Back Nine Golf offers traditional golf opportunities while also providing fun games and activities available for non-traditional golfers on their top-of-the-line full-swing simulators. Learn about their corporate memberships today and gather your favorite groups together at Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln, just off 14th and Pine Lake Road.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Lincoln is full of great golf courses in a state that is getting national recognition for exceptional golf. Friend Country Club is worth the drive, just 40 minutes from Lincoln and home to one of the state's most respected 9-hole courses. Enjoy their restaurant with popular items like a 14-ounce ribeye, 10-ounce sirloin, or chicken fried steak. Open Thursday through Saturday from 5:30 to 10 p.m. Expand your horizons with a trip to Friend Country Club, just 40 minutes southeast of Lincoln. It's worth a visit.
When something breaks, you want some.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black Shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour one of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in. It is Old School 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you, as always, by the good folks over at Graham Tire Company. Hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. I know I did. Jay Foreman, how was your weekend?
It was all right. Well, I'm here. So that's that.
Was there ever any question?
You just never know July 4th, man. I think the quality control, if you looked on the intranet, as Joyce Garrison always likes to call it, that the quality control of some of these fireworks are not very good.
Any close calls for you this year?
Not this year, no.
Closest call you've ever had?
It was last year. I think I set one off, and it was one of my like favorite ones. And they're supposed to go up in the air, and nothing happened. It just shot out right towards the garage.
Whoops.
Yeah. So dodging, yeah. Testing my little short area quickness.
Like Luke Skywalker with the helmet on in episode 4.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but I didn't have a lightsaber, so it was a little dicey there. But overall, what a good, good little holiday. Obviously, it's
good grilling.
Big year. Yeah. Not too heavy though. It is what it is. I think in my neighborhood, I think it was July 4th, like since July, like or June 30th or whatever. So it was like, but when they had the grand finale, you got a couple neighbors that really get after it a little bit, but I think I was asleep by 10:30.
Yeah, I wasn't asleep by quite that long. My kids sure were, and they actually stayed down. I was pretty impressed. Our block luckily wrapped things up pretty early on the 4th. They'd been shooting them off intermittently throughout the week, but I was impressed that our block got done pretty early on the 4th, and we could still see plenty out of our windows and whatnot, but it wasn't overly loud because we still have a little baby monitor, right? Because Coop's only 7 months old and change. So it was really obnoxious when our block was doing them, just going off left and right. My baby monitor was. The fireworks, okay, whatever, you're going to do them. But every time the light turns on the monitor, I just got to check it. Oh, is he okay? Is this the time he's going to wake up?
Right.
So it's just all the time.
So you got double trouble there.
Obnoxious.
But it's I think one of my funniest memories is that when I first kind of moved back to Lincoln, I had my 2 daughters. We were living kind of like a little bit farther down, not on O Street, but close to O Street. And I don't know if you call them. It was trees that were overhung on the street. I don't think they were willow trees. I don't really know it. I mean, it's such a long time ago. And it was like a 1-level house. It was a great place. And, I was, they were too young to get anything like big, and I barely even knew about M80s, but I just remember, Monday, the whole house was shaking.
Woo!
Yeah. And at this time they had their own room, and, I'm trying to sleep, but it's just like every light color coming in there. So, and that was probably July 2nd or 3rd. Right. It was before July 4th.
Okay.
And they come busting in the room. I was jumping to bed. So I woke up that next morning. I said, you know what? I got him up, made breakfast. I said, listen, I'm gonna just give you your first little taste of payback. So then went down, got there, probably overspent. And I said, give me the most powerful stuff you got.
And multiple of them.
And multiple of them. And literally went in front, like close to their house, and just started lighting them up.
I'd say like a Christmas tree, but I guess like a firework, right?
Yeah, that's probably. But then the revenge was over in like what, about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was it worth it? That's the real question.
It was worth it. Yeah. I don't know if it was worth financially, but it was worth it from an ego point.
Emotionally,
I think I was whole after that.
Spiritually.
Yeah.
Karmically even.
Yeah. I got the last laugh because I think I moved shortly after that.
Well, speaking of being even, Jay, Team USA and Belgium will be on equal footing tonight as Folarin Balogun got his red card overturned. Well, not overturned necessarily, but his suspension was suspended. They have up to a year, essentially, for him to sit out a match for the red card that he was given. I don't know how closely people have been following this over the weekend, but the long story short, Folarin Balogun, one of Team USA's best players. It was kind of like the Joel Embiid recruitment for Team USA basketball, but make it US soccer. Scores against Paraguay twice, scores against Australia, sits out the match they didn't need against Turkey, then scores in the first half against Bosnia and Herzegovina. A little bit of the collision that I know we talked about a little bit, gets given a red card for it, but only after someone gets in the head ref's earpiece to tell him to go to review for it.
Yeah.
Comes out, okay, you can't appeal the red card, but Team USA did, they appealed the process, essentially, because you can't go to the monitor, you can't slow it down and then do that. And the analogy, the comparison that came to mind for me is that's why you always throw the flag for targeting. It's why you always let, the fumble play on until the guy's down or crosses the end zone. Because what FIFA did, essentially, or what the refs did,
is backwards.
Yeah, they applied the penalty after review, as opposed to, because they didn't call it a foul in real time, they went to the monitor and then applied it, not how the rule's supposed to work. And then we get the whole rigmarole of, President Trump is calling, asking for an explanation. Is he, trying to, call in a favor or something? And now Belgium is given a chance to appeal, but they say, oh, you can't actually, file this because you're not part of the original suit. But apparently that even leads to this other body that has a chance to look at it. And it's just all confusing. But it seems like Team USA is going to have its best player for tonight's match against Belgium.
Well, I hope so. They kick off in about 2 hours and 50 or 3 hours and 51 minutes. So, I think the whole thing, I'm not into the, whether the president called or not. I just think that.
Well, he did call.
Oh, he did call.
Yes. Okay, he had a call with the FIFA president.
Yeah.
But the FIFA president's not the one that makes this decision.
I know. I think it was, I didn't want to go there. Probably more posturing, but it's good media attention. I think the best thing that they were able to do is appeal the process because the process was flawed from the get go. I don't even think it was even a question that he was just trying to make a play on the ball. I think I just hated it that it puts a kind of a little bit of a cloud over the game. Belgium's better than what people give them credit for. They'll be tough. They always have been very competitive. And if you watch any European soccer, a lot of their players are playing on some pretty high-level club teams, not the star players, but the secondary players. And so they're going to be as motivated as the U.S., and U.S. is going to have their full crew. So I think, I think they're saying this is the biggest game in men's soccer history, and probably rightfully so, considering that the circumstances on U.S. soil and all that type of stuff, it is probably the biggest one and probably the best team that we've had.
Probably for sure. Almost that, maybe not the most legendary players yet, but again, what really is an American soccer legend at this point? Not exactly a rich history.
And they were legendary.
Dempsey, Howard, whatever.
Dempsey was really good at the wrong time. I don't think the guys around him were as motivated and as good he was. Then we had the goalie. What's his name?
Tim Howard.
Tim Howard.
Yep.
He was actually really good.
Yeah.
He actually did work over in the big leagues. And
Freddie Adu.
Yeah, when he took off, I think I was just getting in the league or something. I remember kind of following him, and then he went over to Europe, came back, and then he had a little bit of a lull, and then all those players never got to kind of cross over. And if they did, it was at one was at the end of their tenure, one wasn't ready. I think this is cohesively, this is the strongest team we've had top to bottom, probably the best coach we've had.
Well, he already has the most World Cup wins in Team USA history.
Yeah, which isn't that hard, but but still, I think he's the most accomplished, realistic coach that wants to be here.
Well, he's Team USA's Fred Hoiberg.
Yeah,
didn't have a high bar to clear, but still cleared it.
He still cleared it, and it's a great situation. And also, I think he's probably expanded the brand or the bandwidth, as I like to say it, of U.S. men's soccer. So it's actually making it more fashionable, and I'm assuming hopefully more appealing to more people, the masses, and obviously get behind it with a great performance tonight.
And the other storyline for this one is that it's Team USA versus Belgium in a rematch from 2014.
Yeah.
Team USA makes it to the knockout round, gets eliminated, misses a little chip shot in front of the goal, Chris Wondolowski. Belgium's three best players from that team are still going.
Yeah.
Still trucking right
Revenge.
along.
Hey, it's time to get that get back. I think it's a great game. They've looked really, really good, strong. They've won it in a few different ways, which is obviously that's really, really good. And obviously they have the star power. So I like what they got, going on. I just, want them to get over the hump. It's only going to get harder. It's not going to be easier. So they're going to have to go out and they're going to have to get the crowd behind them. The crowd's going to be hype at the beginning. Get the crowd behind them, keep the momentum, withstand a momentum shift from Belgium, and be able to put the hammer down.
A few interesting angles to go off of on this. Number one, I think Team USA won its equivalent of the first four match, right? The early knockout game against Bosnia Herzegovina. This one feels like it would count a little bit more for real. Out of the expanded group qualifiers, right? More teams move on to the quote unquote knockout stage now. Feels like this would be the win for Team USA if they're able to beat this team here in Belgium. I think they have Spain or Portugal next, potentially, if they're able to pull it off. But the other part of it, Jay, is Team USA is the last host country left standing. If the run ends tonight and all three host countries are out at a similar time, I don't think Canada made it through, or they were limited.
Lost.
Yeah.
And
Mexico
lost last
just and there's some controversy around that with England's outgoing prime minister making a call to his football association and soccer association, whatever. There's a whole lot going on in the world politics with it. But is the World Cup already a success for Team USA? Do they need another win for it to be successful? How do you gauge how this run has been?
I think it's a success right now, but it'd be a major success. They need a win, like cement history making. You know, I think this is, they need to, win this game. And then after that, you're playing really with house money. You like your chances against everybody. You got to believe. And I think they have a deep, down belief in themselves. And, they get Florian back and, I think that adds to the star power. I think, everybody kind of did a really good job once he went out of the game to continue to play. They didn't give up a goal. Everybody thought they could, when they went into extra time, if they got a goal, then they were automatically going to tie it. They locked it down defensively, and I think they did a really good job. I read a report where they still had him practicing for the small chance at one point in time that they would be able to appeal the process, and obviously it went through, and obviously they have him. So it wasn't like they, quit on the opportunity that he could come back. But I think ultimately, this is a great opportunity to be, to go up there legendary status. And the funny thing about U.S. men's soccer is if they, let's just say when they win tonight, and let's say they win again, which is oddly enough, and I'll do the comparison here to Nebraska football, because in hour 3, I didn't get to send you the article, but talked about Alabama recruiting, always been in the top 5. Now they're at 45 and have no chance to get in even inside the top 25. I always say this, when I talk about Nebraska football right now, these players and these teams have it so much easier to be thought of as legends, because all you got to do is make it in the dance. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because then they'll have the built-in excuse: NIL, transfer portal, all this, right? College football's changed, right?
Road game.
Oh, no, just all the circumstances, like after COVID and all that, right? And they make it. These guys I guarantee you, we will have a parade for them if they make it into the college football playoffs, especially at 12. 24, I don't know. That's the same thing with U.S. men's soccer. You had the legendary women's team from like Mia Hamm and all them. I remember obviously when the young lady took off her shirt and celebrated and all that. There was so much pressure on them to continue to win, right? And obviously they were always able to answer the bell. They were so successful in winning gold, World Cups and all that, right? That it's almost like watered down. So here comes these guys, and they make it to the Final Four. They're like, oh, never done before. These guys will have statues at all their when they get the golden parachute retirement when they go back to MLS.
The other aspect is obviously Balogun able to play tonight, at least for the moment, for Team USA. I think it's a big sign that a program has grown, Jay, when you lose kind of that chosen one mystique, right? From Donovan into, Adu right around the same time. Gio Reyna had his moment maybe, but certainly Christian Pulisic, right? Who was, the next great American hope, right? For soccer. Can he be the one that, sparks, more, American boys to play soccer and be good at soccer? What's he going to do over in Europe? He's been just okay. He's been fine. Hasn't been atrocious, but there's been plenty of drama along the way around him.
But I think that's just soccer, though.
Well, for sure it's soccer, and we can get into that if we need to. But I think the mark of a healthy program, a healthy team, and a healthy culture is that, well, guess what? Golden Boy didn't play against Australia. Team USA still won. Now, upgraded the talent around him, but that's kind of the point. Maybe the players are the same. Maybe the names are the same, and they're being used in better ways. But 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Pulisic doesn't play. Oh, woe is us. Oh, it's over. It's going to take an upset. Yeah. There's just a different air of confidence around this team. Maybe it's because it's on home soil. I'm sure that doesn't hurt. But for Team USA not to have to pin all its hopes and dreams on one player, that to me is probably the biggest step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's the biggest growth that they've had. And we can compare it to Nebraska men's basketball. It's the biggest growth that we've had, probably saw this year, where, adversity with, you go to Michigan and you're undermanned and you take them to the brink of essentially, you had control of the game for up until the last 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And every single speed bump Nebraska men's basketball was able to kind of overcome and then welcome the challenge. That's exactly what this team has done. And you saw it a little bit in the like leading up to the World Cup and the few matches that they had, so-called friendlies and all that. It's like, this team's got a little something, a little different spice to them than a normal U.S. team. I think when you have a good leader in place, obviously he's well respected, obviously, right? So that right there, you got to respect his success. But somebody that actually wants to be here, even though he's not from here, wants to be here. And then he did a really good job of coming in and kind of, figuring out what personalities go with each other and then the whole personality of the team. And I always talk about, like, when I was coaching basketball, I always watch those documentaries because the talent over there is crazy soccer-wise. But the managers, they do a really good job of motivating and understanding the individuals and knowing what buttons to push. And the ones that are successful are right 90% of the time, probably even a little bit higher. The ones that aren't, don't. So you can see a lot of that in this U.S. team. His experience over there, right?
And this was a guy that's just a pretty good so-so guy over there in European soccer.
But he's learned everywhere. And and the thing is, if you watch him, because he was on a couple of those documentaries, he's went into not ideal situations and kind of turned them around, right? And then obviously, politics come in. They want a bigger name. But everywhere he's been able to galvanize. He's never complained about anything. So the analogy would be a coach that goes to Iowa State, right? They're struggling NIL-wise and financially. Well, he just figures out a way to keep winning, right? Or winning enough to we're like, man, that guy's really good. And then he goes from there to, I don't know, whatever the next place is. And he's always been successful.
Buzz Williams?
Buzz got some plan. Buzz leaving no matter what. Buzz playing is 6 years if he's winning, 4 years if it ain't going to turn around. He in year 2 at Maryland, time is ticking. Yeah, but kind of like that, though. Everywhere Buzz has went, he's never kind of, got to the mountaintop, but everywhere he's
never worn out his welcome, really, either.
Never worn out his welcome, and everywhere he's went, he's been able to have a positive stamp and winning there. And it doesn't matter where it's at. Buzz Williams down in Texas A&M.
College Station.
Of all places. Then he goes back out to the East Coast.
Right, from Blacksburg to Milwaukee to College Park.
Yep.
Man with a plan.
Yeah. I'm here. Be ready to win. And he has a lot of fun doing it. So I think this game tonight is I think, one thing you see about soccer, you watch it when you play or when they play, you touch them, man, they act like they're just arms broke or something. There's drama in soccer. It's more dramified than we know here because we don't have that type of intense soccer here on a, day-to-day basis. And that's what
we do have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but
yeah, and he's probably right along with him. But people you talk about LeBron was flopping. These guys are if this type of soccer was here in mainstream, people would be disgusted.
Oh,
but it's part of soccer. It's part of the gamesmanship because they want to get rest time, and people don't understand that.
Yeah,
because was it Kane last night for England? I don't even know if he hit the Mexico player. I don't.
They don't look like he did.
I mean, they were kind of, but one slid and he kind of slid over him. But he laid on the ground. Next thing you know, he was running up and down there trying to make a run and stuff like that. And there's one team that nobody probably wants to win is England. The way I don't know if you saw how they are outside of like how they treat some of the reporters and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. I think that's probably goes on brand for them.
Which is a dang shame because England was at Kauffman Stadium throwing out a first pitch at the Royals game not too long ago. But
they probably didn't get it to home plate.
How much do you think the rest of the world is rooting against Team USA? Whether it's just on general principle because you guys can't be good at everything. This isn't your thing, it's our thing. How much of it is because of this red card, suspension that's getting suspended and pushed back? Or, is Nebraska, is Team USA, the Indiana football? Oh, that's a cute story. Oh, crap, we got to take him seriously. Where do you think the rest of the world is with Team USA?
I think they're more on don't want them to win to keep them down. Obviously, this makes it even worse. Probably in there, actually, and then on the flip side, Well, it's twofold. Those two things I said, plus they're actually good, but they didn't want to give them respect. Kind of like Nebraska basketball.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, like, oh, it's cute, but we only want you to go so far. And what rings in my mind is when Nebraska was either 18-0 or 20-0. It was a national guy. And he's like, well, if they don't make the Great Eight, the year was a failure.
I think that was Gary Parrish.
Yeah. I remember we talked about it.
Yeah.
And he just threw that out there, one, to get clicks for himself. Number two is to kind of put a cloud over what has already been done. They're undefeated. I think that there were only
It was them, Arizona, Miami of Ohio,
right.
I think, at that point, because Vandy had just gone down.
Yeah, only 3 teams undefeated at that point in time. Because Nebraska won 2 more games after that, so they're 18-0. But you know what? That's part of it, though. Same with Nebraska, like basketball. We had to deal with that a little bit. So look, at the end of the day, you got to go play. And it's part of the process of becoming a champion. You know, as everybody, cheers for you, as soon as you start winning a lot, every day, we're done seeing you win all the time. And so they aren't at that point, but also understand that the politics of soccer, the sport of soccer, as they like to call it, or football, is apparent. And, there will be backlash the more that they win.
Speaking of that, how much more pressure goes on Team USA now, being at home, right, home soil, with their best player, as opposed to pressure on Belgium, who now can use the excuse of, oh, this guy wouldn't have been eligible under normal circumstances, Yeah. This is a Belgium team that was down 2-0 late and then came back to win it.
And it's going to be more interesting how they react.
Yeah.
Are they motivated? Are they motivated to become more disciplined so they don't get down 2? Because if they get down 2-0 in the U.S., the game's over.
Right.
I think probably maybe more pressures on the U.S. just because it's probably internal pressure, just because they know how good they are. They feel like they can beat Belgium. Sure, all those extra outside noise doesn't really. I don't think that puts any. I think the pressure's on them just because they're at home and they feel this is a great opportunity. But I don't think that. And I always say this: you only feel like the only true pressure you feel in sports is if you're not prepared. I know they're prepared. Right. So it's more of a anxiety and like want to do good. That type of. So it's the pressure. Only time you feel pressure in sports is if you're not prepared. That really actually turns into panic. We've seen around here at times, right? Over the last 20 some years, the pressure that they're putting on is just to want to succeed, and that's a good pressure. Because that means you're invested and you want to do well.
It's the butterflies versus the pit in your stomach.
Right. You're like, oh man, trust me, I went into plenty classrooms with a lot of pressure. and I told a couple of teachers, hey, I'm under some pressure. I got a game Saturday. This don't work out right. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying?
It might not work out right over there. Wink, wink.
Yeah. I might not have my mug up there. Can we, can I come see you tomorrow? Yeah, sure.
What can we do?
Yeah, what can we do?
He's Jay.
Here's a couple tickets. No,
He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. We'll get a quick Husker football recruiting update from Brian Munson. One commitment did not go Nebraska's way. Bam Whitfield headed to Florida. Khalil Taylor still set to commit. Some other big picture recruiting questions as we're into the month of July. Big thanks to Graham Tire Company for their sponsorship of Old School. We'll tell you more about them throughout the course of the show. But it's Brian Munson of Husker Online with us on our Aloe Fiber VIP line after this.
Lincoln is full of great golf courses in a state that is getting national recognition for exceptional golf. Front Country Club is worth the drive, just 40 minutes from Lincoln and home to one of the state's most respected 9-hole courses. Enjoy their restaurant with popular items like a 14-ounce ribeye, 10-ounce sirloin, or chicken fried steak. Open Thursday through Saturday from 5:30 to 10 p.m. Expand your horizons with a trip to Front Country Club, just 40 minutes southeast of Lincoln. It's worth a visit.
When something breaks, you want someone you can trust to fix it right. Empire Repair is now open in Waverly and ready to serve our community with reliable auto repair and maintenance. From routine service to bigger repairs, our team is here to keep you on the road. Stop by Empire Repair in Waverly or call 402-786-2224 to schedule your service today. Empire Repair, proud to serve Waverly.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Better up!
the crack of the bat, sizzling concessions. Yeah, that's the sound of summer at Haymarket Park. It's been that way for 25 seasons. And in this city, it's not a matter of if you'll catch a game, it's how many. That's because there's always something in play for Salt Dogs fans. From saluting our troops to Friday night fireworks, your local tradition plays on. Let's show summer how Lincoln celebrates 25 seasons. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Played Against Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play it Against Sports at 48th and Vine.
Concrete Industries has immediate openings for production laborers, operators, and drivers. Earn great pay starting at $21.50 per hour, plus health benefits, 401k, paid time off, and more. Right now, production laborers can earn a $1,500 hiring bonus, and drivers are eligible for a $2,500 hiring bonus. No experience? No problem. Concrete Industries offers on-the-job training and opportunities to grow your career. Start your future today. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in. It is Old School, stream only, as the Royals are putting the hurt on the Phillies 11-1 right now through 6 innings complete. We will flip back to the radio once that game goes final. But for now, we're joined on our Aloe Fiber VIP line by Brian Munson of Husker Online to talk some Husker football recruiting. Brian, a happy Monday, July 6th to you. How was your 4th weekend?
It was good, kind of low-key. I think my dog is suffering from some PTSD. It got a little crazy after like 9:30 that night. But, I'll just take another day or two to kind of calm her down.
Well, best of luck with that. Does she have any favorite treats or anything? Just going on a walk help? How does your dog get through fireworks PTSD?
So she was born, in December, like December 1st. So she's about 7 months old.
Oh, wow.
I had just put her out for one last time to go use the restroom and then come back in. And then the fireworks just started going crazy. It'd been quiet all night. And fireworks down here are not really truly legal in the sense of in Nebraska, artillery shells and ground bloom blossoms and, the cuckoo's nest and whatever else you guys got up there. You can't really do that down here. Down here, it's typically limited to sparklers and, and that kind of thing. They don't allow a lot of that stuff. So,
but I thought everything was bigger in Texas.
Not
the fireworks.
Yeah, if you're talking about prohibitive laws, maybe in this case, but no. But then the minute I turned around, seriously, I did an about face. I saw her 3.5, 4 feet off the ground, trying to jump through my storm door. and then she jumped over basically the baby gate that keeps her out of the bedrooms or whatever down the hallway. I mean, she was losing her mind. So, yeah, she's still a little traumatized from it all. I think that's she keeps looking at the ceiling, when the next fireworks are going to go off or whatever. Oh gosh, maybe another day or two she'll be better for it. But it's been something. I don't, none of the other dogs ever had this kind of problem with it before, but she's definitely suffering the worst.
Well, that's a bummer. Had to be one of them, I suppose, at some point. But best of luck to you and to her, obviously, in getting through that. Husker football recruiting, Brian. We talked last week about how today was going to be a big day. Did not start out with the boom that Nebraska wanted, or the bam that Nebraska wanted, if you will. Nebraska and Oregon, miss on Bam Whitfield. What did Florida do to beat out the Big Ten programs for the in-state commit?
Well, I think the big part was just they're the in-state program. I mean, I think that that they had a kind of a pretty good chokehold on things before he took his official visit to Oregon, and before he took his official visit to Nebraska. I think Nebraska actually did a tremendous job here. I think that they had done basically everything that they felt like that they could do. I mean, there was a time there following his official visit where it really kind of seemed like Nebraska might pull this one off. But I think what it really comes down to, it was a distance factor for him. I think there's just, the family just isn't about like they're the traveling type. They haven't taken a lot of trips like that before. And I think ultimately it kind of comes down to just staying closer to home is convenient for more folks than it's not. And I think obviously when you start weighing like the pros and the cons, that becomes a pretty big deal. And I think that, like as we kind of sit there and we go back and forth on like, what are the things that recruits, tend to value? Geographic location tends to be one of those things that increases the most as the timeline goes on. Because it just becomes that kind of irrefutable kind of deal, right? Like you could always go back and say about like who's going to be better, like in the near term between Florida and Oregon and Nebraska. But I think the one thing you can turn around and go like, well, there's never going to be a school that's going to be as close to, to Orlando as Gainesville out of those three. And that's going to be that irrefutable kind of detail in your analysis of like, what are the things that kind of set all the schools apart?
This might be a crazy broad question. I just don't know if you've noticed throughout your years of covering recruiting, are there pockets of the country where, geography plays a bigger factor than others in terms of guys just want to stay home? Or is that more of a socioeconomic thing because, like you said, maybe can't take visits, or a personality thing, kind of a homebody? Do you see any, trends in that sort of way when it comes to home playing a factor in recruitment?
I have seen all of those things. I have seen socioeconomic. I have seen, I'm just, I'm really just a homebody, like this is where I grew up. This is where all my family is at. This is where all my family has gone to. I have seen all those various reasons. There's not necessarily a geographic area that I could like say to you is a little bit more apt to leave. I could tell you, like in covering Texas before in years past, like, cause I used to write like the Super Prep Hot 100. I used to like cover Texas a little bit more extensively than I do now. Some years like in Texas, like particularly like in, like the early 2000s, it was kind of sexy to leave Texas. If you had an opportunity like to leave the state, it was kind of a big deal. Like there were kids that were leaving a lot, and that's kind of like where like, the schools got together, like RC Slocum and, A&M and Texas, and those guys all kind of put their heads together and said, hey, look, the best thing for us to do is keep the talent home, whether they want to go play for the Longhorns or play for the Aggies. It's better that they stay here and play here than go someplace else and play against us, or, take basically that interest away from, the state of Texas. But there were definitely years where top talent just felt like it was the best thing to do was to kind of leave the state. And that's not been the case lately. Like Sarkisian, he's doing a great job of locking down the guys he wants to kind of keep home now. So, but it definitely was like there was a run of it, like where those guys were the top ones. They all wanted to leave.
With the Bam Whitfield commitment to Florida, Brian, is there a pivot point in the class for Nebraska where they can go another direction and get another DB prospect, or is this just going to be a hole in the class Nebraska's not looking to fill?
Never say never, but I mean, Bam Whitfield was kind of a luxury that Nebraska, could afford to not have, right now in this class. I mean, if you really take the class, and you take a look at it now, and you got Torrey Pittman and Corey Hadley, and you got a couple of really nice corners, but you're really focusing now like at Whitfield, where Whitfield was kind of a nickel corner, safety kind of guy. Maybe you kind of felt like he was going to do that. That's a very similar role to like what Nebraska has kind of set aside or kind of has in mind for Corey Hadley. I think honestly that, they were just looking for a little bit more balance, I think, in the room, kind of getting that guy in there that can be a little bit more of a nickel, rollback to safety versus maybe more of a true cornerback. But I think ultimately, I think that Nebraska, like, it hurts, it stings. He would have been a great get for Nebraska to add to the group, but you already have 4 4-star commits already in the class, and I think that's incredibly, between Hill and Williams and Hadley and Pittman. I think it's a really talented group, really athletic group. I think the corners have a really great length. I think that as like a nickel, like I'd said before, Whitfield or Hadley, have that ability to kind of play that man on man. They're not 6'2" guys, but they're 5'10" and a half, 5'11" guys. And then they're also the guys that you could put like in the box that love to come downhill and hit people. And I think that that's the part there that I think that like really looked the most appealing about having another guy like Whitfield in the class. And then you have Pittman that obviously, is a great tackler, but I think that his biggest thing is like he can cover a lot of space, and you put a guy like that out there and allow him to kind of play more free, and he can do some terrific things for you on the defensive side of the football. So like I said, I think they could still do something, but I think with the 4 guys they got, I think that they're kind of just thinking now that, hey, we didn't think we had much of a chance to like get 5 of them. Now we've got 4. We're good to go. The class goes back to maybe 22 by the end of the day today. Mm-hmm. And, maybe reaches 23 potentially with another flip like from Ahmad Hudson.
There you go. Brian Munson of Husker Online dropping a teaser for the next question I was going to ask. Check out his work, HuskerOnline.com. You mentioned the class may be expanding, and the way you phrased that, Brian, makes me think you still feel good about Nebraska's chances to land a Pennsylvanian wide receiver Khalil Taylor. True?
I do. I mean, Khalil's the guy I think coming out of the weekend that I felt like Nebraska had probably the best chances to do something about, like the Huskers just, trailing Penn State versus like, Whitfield, trailing, Florida. It didn't feel like Whitfield was as possible as Taylor was. There's too many things kind of going on, I think, that are at play. I think that obviously there's a massive hole in the class, like looking for that. And I agree with people that are kind of asking about it. You have a 4-star, 5-star quarterback in Trey Taylor. Where is kind of the reciprocal wide receiver that's supposed to be following him to Lincoln? It isn't exactly there, right? I think people would say, well, there's Tay Ellis and there's Justin Lindsay. Agreed. I think Lindsay got a lot of upside, and I think Tay Ellis is going to be a really good player for Nebraska, but he's not that 6-foot-tall 10-5 guy that like Khalil Taylor is. Khalil Taylor is, he's a ready-made wide receiver. He's incredibly physical. He has got, some the ability to run all the routes on the tree, which is something I really felt like Matthew Gregory couldn't do for Nebraska, like immediately, like in his time in Lincoln. Khalil Taylor could honestly be find a role in the returning game. He's a really good returner as well. But yeah, I think that this is the one here for Nebraska to kind of say, this is the ham to the burger, or the Tom to the Jerry with Trey and Khalil, Taylor to Taylor. Mm-hmm. This has really been the wide receiver I think Nebraska really wanted to get to add him to the class. So good.
I say, what's led to him taking his decision out this long? Then obviously was committed to Penn State. Has he been taking visits, just thinking about it? What's up with the July commitment for Taylor?
Well, I think first of all, I mean, Franklin leaving Penn State was the big part that kind of set everything back into motion, right? I mean, he's taken like 16, 17 visits to Penn State. That's a place where I think it always seemed like he was going to end up. And of course, you have Coach Franklin, getting escorted, out. It's maybe not ever kind of connected as well as what it once did with Franklin when it comes to Matt Campbell being there. Although I think that there were several people that kind of felt like, and we even heard that he could have been a silent verbal to Penn State before he even took his official visit to Nebraska. But I think in the end, what this really proves to everybody was that there wasn't any other verbal to any other school, since he took his official visit to Penn State, before he went to Nebraska. And, he was open to all possibilities. And I think people kind of underestimate here as well, just kind of where things stood between he and Nebraska when Nebraska offered and how they have done a great job recruiting him. I think it really comes down to just, again, consistency. I think it's where the family would prefer he kind of ends up going. I think that's another part to this situation. And I think obviously he's going to play a very big role early on in his career for the Huskers if that's where he decides to go here in a couple of hours.
Last thing then on that front, a guy that, from everything you said, had a bunch of interest in Penn State. Is that a guy that Nebraska is on, not immediately, but eventually, transfer watch for because he really wanted to go to this other program? And as soon as opportunity comes knocking, then, okay, I'm going to the school I always wanted to all along? Or is there a stronger tie between, the program that lands the commitment from a kid like Khalil Taylor potentially that, hey, he had his heart broken, but here's the program that picked up the pieces and he made him whole again, if you will, not to get too sappy about recruiting? Or is it just, hey, if he transfers out, it's just the day and age?
It is just that day and age. I mean, I think people probably could have said, though, that they felt maybe that way after Ja'Cory Barney, either this last season or the season before. I think maybe people felt like he was going to head on back to Miami, but it didn't play out that way. I think that, I'm actually kind of talking about this with people on the board right now where they're really kind of trying to figure out, like, what's the enjoyable part about recruiting right now, because people know that Penn State's not going to back off Khalil Taylor. They're going to keep pushing for him all the way, just like what Nebraska's doing with Ahmad Hudson, just like what Ohio State's doing with Trey Taylor. I mean, it's not the majority of the class, however, that's in play. I mean, you've always had like one or two guys that have remained in play. It's just now we're talking about official visits in June, committed by, like basically the class being pulled together by the middle of July. Then you're getting kind of pushed to do stuff and take trips like fall time visits, like during their senior seasons. And then they're all signing in December, and then they're off in January. So the timeline is accelerated, but like we've been dealing with this forever. And if you recruit this caliber of recruit, you should expect it. You could absolutely expect for teams to never back off these types of players. They always want to stay relevant and continue to challenge other schools for them all the way up to signing day, basically.
There you have it. Brian Munson of Husker Online, breaking it all down, huskeronline.com. Brian, if people want to join the board and have that chat with you, what's the best way they can go about getting to it?
Get on over to Husker Online. Go to Red Sea Scrolls. Check it out. We're in there right now talking about Khalil's upcoming announcement. I think we're on page 2 of that thread, honestly, right now, kind of going back and forth about it. But yes, we'll obviously have some connections there to when Khalil's going to make his announcement. And that'll be here in about an hour and a half.
There you go. Stay tuned for that. Get on over there. Brian Munson of Husker Online, thanks as always for your time here on a Monday afternoon. Appreciate it as always.
Talk to you next week.
It's a plan. There he goes. Brian Munson with us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local. All right, we'll be back to wrap up hour 1 of On the Block, Old School. Sorry, On the Block Old Rejoins here. Hour 1 of Old School brought to you by Graham Tire Company. But of course, big thanks to Heartland of Nebraska Windows for their sponsorship. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska. They offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more info, 402-430-3852. You can also visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Jay Foreman rejoins me to wrap up Hour 1 of Old School right after this.
Hey, Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion with Window World Lincoln. Are you ready to transform your home? We offer exceptional replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing that will elevate your home's curb appeal and value. As a nationally known, locally owned business, we treat you like family and work tirelessly to deliver the best for less. Don't wait to give your home the upgrade it deserves. Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or check out windowworldlincoln.com. Let's make your home the talk of the neighborhood.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you become ill or injured at work and need an experienced attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court, protect your rights and freedom to get you the best possible results for your case and the justice you deserve. Trust your rights and freedom to Liberty Law Group. Attorneys serving Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Kendall Warnock here, owner of A1 Automotive. If you own a BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, or Mini, you know specialized service matters. Our team uses advanced diagnostic equipment, OE equipment, including factory-level software, to accurately diagnose and repair your vehicle. Dealer-level capabilities with hometown service. A1 Automotive, 1117 L Street. You can call us 402-477-4660.
At Parkview.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in to wrap up hour one of Old School. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. Don't forget, you can still be a part of the show, even though we're on stream only right now. 402-464-5685, the number to our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line, or drop a comment on stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, up and rolling for you, as is Allo channel 961. Jay, we'll wrap up some World Cup discussion with this. Obviously, Folarin Balogun gets his red card suspended, pushed back. So at some point he will have to serve that, but it will likely not be tonight against Belgium. Not the first red card to be overturned, not the first card to be overturned, as someone from France had a yellow card overturned from the Paraguay game. FIFA's rule for this World Cup is if you cover your mouth and it looks like you're talking to or at an opponent, it's an automatic card.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought this is America. What
Yeah.
happened to free speech? Settle it on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I saw last night when Kane wasn't down on the ground. The Mexico offensive player went down and like said something to him right in his face.
Mm-hmm. But he didn't cover his hands or cover his mouth, so
which would seem backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be better sportsmanship, not saying anything at all, but I don't know. I mean, soccer, like every sport, but in particular soccer has some weird rules and kind of like grandfathered in and
Mhm.
trying to be hands-on, micromanage, and it just kind of just need to let it flow.
Obviously soccer is playing 11 on 11, 10 position players and a goalie, but let's say an average NFL game. If saying something to an opponent was worthy of at least a flag, if not ejection, how many players would be left on the field at the end of an average NFL game?
Oh, like 10 total.
You wouldn't even have enough for 7-on-7.
The kickers and the long snapper, maybe odd couple offensive linemen. Besides that, that's it. Maybe some D linemen that don't want to work too hard, so they're not going to say anything. But besides that, nobody.
Would not be able to play an NFL game.
Not even the coaches. There's some coaches that'll pop off too.
Favorite thing you heard an opposing coach say from the sideline, whether it's to you or one of your teammates?
Oh, I can't say it on the radio.
Who said it though?
My man Carl Mock.
Okay. What was Carl doing?
Oh, he was going off. He was must-see TV. Yeah, he was going off. He was going off on everybody. He was going off on the opposing team, the refs, and us. He was the original can man. He was
the original.
He was a great player. He actually was a great coach too. He would get it cracking. And I would be there because the offense would be out there, so I'm ready to go out there for punt team.
Mm-hmm. Here's Carl Mock.
Yeah, he'd get busy, but the players loved him. He took care of his players. He would get busy. Now, the funniest thing I ever saw, right? We were playing the Tennessee Titans the year after. Wait, the Tennessee Titans that we were playing? Oh, let me just get my memory right. Mike Cherry was the ref.
That's the giving him the business guy, right?
Yeah, I think he did a Super Bowl, kind of like a slender dude. He's a black dude, got the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were playing. It wasn't the year when we played the Tennessee Titans. It was the year after. And it was like a tight game. We're going in halftime, and there was a couple bad calls. We weren't very good, but we were still kind of in playoff contention.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Jerry Gray were getting into it. Jerry Gray was our defensive coordinator, and he would get it cracking too. He's from Texas, and he talked it in third person.
Jerry talked about Jerry in third person.
And then he would, the best thing is that instead of saying, you want to know why, he's like, you want to know why come? Hey, so I'll be in the back with my man Freddie, and we'd be laughing. Yo, he said something to Mike Cherry, and Mike Cherry, he's professional, kind of looked like he real tightened up, button up. He hears it all the time going in. He called that man Uncle Tom. Yo, the hood came out in Mike. Yeah, and got it cracking, both of them throwing hands.
Oh my gosh!
And you know who was watching that front row? Looked like Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard. They were going at it.
So who won? Roberto or Sugar Ray?
It definitely was a draw.
Knockdown, drag out.
It was standing room only, man. We was talking about that a lot. I was like, dang. Yeah, Jerry Gray get it cracking. He's the one that got it hype on Eric Flowers.
That's right.
Told him, I'm gonna be on my period until you start making some plays. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but you hear some stuff. I told you, like Isaac Bruce told my man Rayon, he's like, you on the bubble, and I'm about to. He's like, I'm gonna pop your bubble, and he told the ref, he's on the bubble. I'm about to pop his bubble. Rayon made it though, but man, Isaac Bruce, I was like, man, that's cold blooded, man.
Maybe that's the reason Isaac Bruce isn't in the Hall of Fame yet.
You know the worst thing somebody can say to you, like, I don't even know who the hell you are.
Oh yeah.
Or like, you ain't even the media guy.
What's your comeback to that?
You
don't have one.
Nobody's ever said that to me. The only thing that I ever did, I said I was talking junk to Derek Brooks. Because at this time I was wearing 55.
Like that Derek Brooks.
Yeah.
Like number 55 Derek Brooks.
And I don't even know why I was talking junk to him. I was playing good. Now this is what young guys do. You're playing good. The football guys are trying to see how you handle success. I was popping off like all game. Because I was mainly playing special teams, just a little bit on defense. Sam Coward got hurt, so I got in and I just started getting busy. They just must have been attacking me. I'm making plays. Had a couple big hits.
Test the rook. Ball finds him.
Derek Brooks is standing over there, and I said, I can't even say it, man. I can't even say it. Yo, I might have been I think I might have been a rookie.
Did you tell him I'm the real 55?
Yeah, but Austin.
Of course you did.
Austin, I think I was a rookie. Just getting in the game, hype. I'm talking about I'm making plays. I'm dragging. I'm work done. We 1-1 in the open field. He tried to stiff arm slap his arm down, DDT him. I'm Ric Flair and everything. I'm woofing all game long. And then I seen him. I said, and then I think he went to somebody. He's like, is he talking to me? So right? Because he had like a Gatorade. So I made another play, and then I was like, yeah, you heard me right. You heard me right. I said, I'm 55. He was like, you stupid. I know he was thinking, you stupid rookie. Next thing you know, we got it in almost overtime, overran a play, work done, scored. Here go the damn cannons off. Walking down dejected. I heard about it for a whole next week. You got the cutback. Then I wanted to fight my man, Big Daddy Pat Williams. I was like, I've heard you. You said it on Sunday. You said it Monday. It is now Friday. I'm done hearing it.
He never got cut back on again.
No. Yeah, I always knew I was in trouble with Pat because he wasn't stuttering.
Oh,
yeah.
Fired up enough to go straight through it.
Yeah, when he was calm, he was like, listen, you don't mess up again. I was like, I got you, player.
Incredible. On that note, let's head to hour 2 of Old School. We'll be back.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion with Window World Lincoln. Are you ready to transform your home? We offer exceptional replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing that will elevate your home's curb appeal and value. As a nationally known, locally owned business, we treat you like family and work tirelessly to deliver the best for less. Don't wait to give your home the upgrade it deserves. Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or check out windowworldlincoln.com. Let's make your home the talk of the neighborhood.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 to its signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you become ill or injured at work and need an experienced attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court, protect your rights and freedom to get you the best possible results for your case and the justice you deserve. Trust your rights and freedom to Liberty Law Group. Attorneys serving Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Kendall Warnock here, owner of A1 Automotive. If you own a BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, or Mini, specialized service matters. Our team uses advanced diagnostic equipment, OE equipment, including factory-level software, to accurately diagnose and repair your vehicle. Dealer-level capabilities with hometown service. A1 Automotive, 1117 L Street. You can call us 402-477-4660.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts, answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Away we go, hour 2 of Old School. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. Still stream only. Royals up big on the Phillies 14-1 as they enter the 8th inning. We'll flip back over to the radio as soon as that game is over. Don't forget, as Lincoln's home for the Royals, we will be on stream only occasionally as Kansas City takes over the airwaves. But don't worry, we are still live as those games take place on our free 93.7 The Ticket mobile app, as well as on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo channel 961. Old School brought to you by Graham Tire Company, as always. Jay, some interesting numbers coming out from over the weekend. Bobby Marks, longtime NBA guy writing for ESPN right now, tweeted earlier today that since the CBA, the new one, took effect in the NBA since 2023, there have been 98 contract extensions handed out, totaling $10.7 billion in new money, which is an average of 33 extensions per year. And of those 33, only 3 players have signed the super max, that new kind of provision. Yeah. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, both with Boston, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Bobby Marks follows that up by saying, under the 2017 CBA, there was a $10.5 billion handed out over 6 seasons in terms of contract extensions, and about 126 players that ended up signing extensions. So in 3 years, you are well over halfway to the number of players that have earned a contract extension, been given a contract extension from their current team, and you've already signed for more money, which is less shocking given the way that the salary cap moves in pro sports leagues. Is the new CBA working out for players, for owners, for fans? Who's happy or not happy with it?
Well, the players are happy. A lot of these guys are getting overpaid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know Mitchell Robinson, he's a good to get the type of money he's getting. I mean, obviously, I know when you win a championship, everything, you get paid. But even the guy that they inserted into the starting lineup for the Boston Celtics,
Neemias Queta.
I mean, he got super paid. I think it's working out for the players. Now, sure, the players would tell you this is what the players want. We want everybody on a Supermax contract, and we want to play 48 games. and the owners want you to play 148.
Mhm.
So I
For
would
super
say-
minimums.
Yeah, I think the fans are getting the short end of the stick, without a doubt. They're losing on every aspect of it. Experience, because it's so expensive, right? So that means you probably, instead of, say, like a normal family when it was reasonable to go take a family of 4, they could probably go to 4 games a year, maybe even more. Now it's probably just 1, because then they're deciding whether do we want to spend this money to a game that's over in 2 hours, probably 3 hours with traffic, and then we got to pay parking, or do we want to put it towards a family vacation, right? So,
Or a game turns into a family vacation as a big once a year thing, as
Right.
opposed to, hey, we can do this once a month or whatever, every other month.
Every other month. Or we could take this money and go to somewhere for an all inclusive and make money by having our kids just munch on everything for 3 or 4 days.
Mhm.
And then they're losing, actually, I think, on the basketball, like the overall, they're all these players are very skilled, but just basketball. And also, I think there's so much movement now, which is great, again, for the players. The connection is gone. And I don't think that, I think Adam Silver is still trying to push players to be more connected with their fans. Some teams and players really get it. Overall, from top to bottom, it's not there. So I think the fans are, if you had to do ranking, players are really happy, 1, ownership 2, fans a distant 3.
Tweet from Kyle Kuzma. I don't know if he wrote it or had it ghost written.
Yeah,
but it's
why is
interesting
he even
nonetheless.
talking, bro?
Well, because think about his status, middle class NBA guy.
Yeah.
Here's Kuzma's tweet. After sitting here watching NBA free agency this year and overall NBA movement over the past 2 years, somebody has to say it. The new CBA was sold as parity, but the first and second apron are starting to function like a hard cap on player value, team continuity, and player movement. Teams are no longer making purely basketball decisions. They're making fear-based apron decisions. That means good players get squeezed, homegrown cores get broken up, fan favorite teams lose their identity, and the overall product loses some of the nostalgia and continuity that made people fall in love with the NBA in the first place. He goes on to say the NBA PA essentially needs to be better. They're getting circles run around them by the league and its attorneys. And Kuzma says, the next CBA is a do or die moment for us as players. It's only going to get worse for us. We need transparency, accountability, and a serious reevaluation of who is representing us and how. This is not anti-parity. This is pro-player, pro-fan, and pro-product. The league is strongest when players are valued properly, great teams can stay together, and the people representing us are operating at the same level as the people sitting across the table.
He's 100% right. And, their CBA, which is not apples to apples, it's the CBA. What he's talking about is what I experienced as I was after year 7 with me. And what they had it as in the first and second apron, what he's talking about in NFL terms was based on your tenure, no matter what you could have been, and I'll use this word loosely, a scrub or a guy that kind of pieced together 7 years in the NFL, 2 or 3 years on the practice squad, half a year here, right? That they had to pay you X amount no matter what. And then if you were above that, like 6 to 8 was this much at that point in time. And then 8 plus was this much. It would just be the second or the first and second apron in his mind. So that squeezed out a lot of guys that would have been able to play. But our leadership presented it to us. Oh, they can pay you, let's just say $1 million, but then it only account $450 against the cap, right? Well, realistically, they're still paying you $1 million.
Yeah.
Right? No, it's like
they see the million, not the 450.
Yeah, they're owners. They're billionaires. They're, yeah, great. The salary cap to them is fictional. It's not real
until it's convenient. Because the way I heard it described too so Tom Glavine was on with Jeff Passan and said the reason the baseball players don't want a salary cap, we can get into this in the next segment too, is because for as many of those guys and groups as it should be fictional for, essentially what the owners do is they use a salary cap as an excuse to not spend more.
Right.
We're not going to control our own spending. You need to do it for us. And here's my excuse.
So that's the Cincinnati Bengals or whoever, and those are generally the mom and pops. And baseball has the best union, best representation in any of the major pro sports by a landslide. NFL has the weakest. And so you saw a lot of guys in my situation squeezed out, but it wasn't based on skill. It was based on obviously money. And sure, you you could essentially get 3 guys for what they were going to pay me, probably even 3.5, just based on, like rookies, and say like he's a second-year guy or whatever.
Just got cut from a practice squad.
Right.
Always cheap.
So you could get 3 rookies for just what the salary cap number would be, and then you can get a third-year guy that you could pay more. Well, you get 4 potentially for the price of 1. So that's what he's talking about, and he's 100% right. But what he left out is he broke bread a couple times before that, and probably squandered some great opportunities to be more of in top-tier position that he wouldn't have to do it. But that is 100% right. You listen to really good, fair, honest NBA analysts, whether it's a former player or guys on TV that aren't in the hip pocket of the owners or players or whatever, they'll tell you ownership and the teams are making decisions based out of fear, but then also it's forecasting fear. And so
because they get their projections years out.
Right.
This is what we anticipate in 27,
so they're making
28.
moves 2 years in advance. They're finding reasons to break up good core teams. I mean,
Boston.
I was just about to say Boston, and now look at them. They're just a shell of themselves where they were potentially set up to be, another 2 more years after that. Now they're, you have guys that are going to move into bigger roles that they weren't getting paid at, but then that's where, out of fear, what they thought was going to come this year, they're probably a year ahead of schedule, but they decided to do it anyways. And so I don't know what they're going to do. I hate it for players that are in the position like Kyle Kuzma, because there's some really good players that are like either don't have the guaranteed contracts that they deserve and earned, or they're not playing.
Yeah.
Or they're on the brinks. And then, if you're not playing in the NBA, then you're not able to go somewhere. Or look at somebody like Julius Randle, who probably, if you had to choose between him and Kyle Kuzma, even though they're not in the same position or play the same position, probably like Kyle Kuzma, probably a little bit more locker room friendly. Kyle Kuzma is just a weird dude, and he likes things that probably aren't conducive to him to be the best player to his skill set.
I'd probably take Randall on the court. I'd probably take Kuzma off in the locker room.
Yeah, but Randall, that last series, that ranked. I mean, him this year was bad. When I'm
but
close.
Kuzma's
to
had like a 1.5 good
right,
years.
But I'm talking about right now.
Okay.
So Julius Randle, the last 3 months of this basketball
last
season,
3 months, sure.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Not overall.
Yeah.
So like not top to bottom. I'm just saying.
But sure,
right
moving
now,
forward, he's
moving
looking for a contract. Okay.
So, but he's out now, and he's not in a good position, and he definitely, obviously, if you haven't watched any of the NBA Summer League, Kyle Kuzma should be in the NBA, without a doubt. Homeboy that played for the Lakers, the balding dude, that 0 points, like 7 assists, and like 2, like you shouldn't be. That's where you're going to see now, and that's where now the NFL had to adjust theirs, right? Because remember, the NFL went to where it was a percentage of the roster was very highly paid, no middle guys, and then all rookies, free agents. And the great thing about not the great thing, but I think what saved the NFL when they still not even close to where it should be, is that you had star players like Aaron Rodgers talk about it. I want to even say Peyton said something about it, because Peyton said, look, our nuts and bolts are guys that are the middle that want to come play here. New England said it, then things started to change. So they need people to step up and start talking about it, or make an adjustment to that first and second apron. So the product doesn't continue to drop.
That's where I was going to go next. That's a perfect transition, because I think specifically in the NBA lens, and we can apply this to other sports. I'm going to stick with NBA for now, because Bobby Marks and his tweet were one that kicked it off, and Kuzma, obviously. The danger for the NBA, Jay, with the middle class getting squeezed out, is that depth, right? In an era where we've seen the studies, stars are playing a lower percentage of the games. And here's the thing, it rises in the playoffs, but in the course of the regular season, the 82-game slog through the regular season, stars are playing less. So that's bad for the product. If you don't have those guys that aren't old but aren't young, I'd say probably you're like 34 to 36-year-old guys probably in the NBA. If there's not just those veterans that you can trust to give you, 25 reliable minutes a night, it's all stars that aren't playing, or scrubs that are, on rookie contracts, 2-way contracts last year before they're going to get released just because they're, what's the phrase, cost-controlled talent. That's not healthy for the league. Not in terms of the product on the court, because the stars aren't there and the depth isn't there. It's not good for the economics because it's so heavily weighted to the top or toward the bottom. When, what's the lifeblood of the league? Sure, the stars that draw TV eyeballs. Sure, maybe they do need to sit a game or two here or there. you need capable backups behind them, right? You don't want to watch, just all-stars and just rookies. You need guys that facilitate the season, that keep the game going. That's that middle class, and for the NBA to go so far into, the Knicks are an interesting example, right? Having just won the championship. Bridges making a lot of money, and Anunoby got the extension. They trade for Karl Anthony Towns and his deal. So then Brunson has to take less. That's still a lot of money tied up in 4 guys, which is who is the hero? Jose Alvarado.
Yeah.
Do the Knicks really have a middle class on the roster? No, because guess what? Mitchell Robinson walked. Deuce McBride probably going to walk at some point because he's probably outplayed his contract.
There, or their ability to pay him what they should, what a going rate for his skill or for his success and skill rate. I think when you think about it, it sucks for the NBA because I guess timing a lot of times when you can really bite into the pie that the NFL is starting to have more more percentage of is that the time. What better time for the NBA to have a really good kind of maybe bring back the rivalries where teams kind of stay together for, let's just say, instead of like a 2 to 3 year period, 4 to 5 year period, or 3 to 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks won. It just seems, I know they won championships in the past, but it's been so long. Spike Lee's been a fan for 40 years, and he's been taking the brunt. The New York Knicks have been the brunt of jokes for how long?
40 years.
40 years, right?
Yeah.
And, from the Patrick Ewing finger roll that didn't go in and all this other stuff. And now they're losing some of their players that actually, when you talk about Robinson, you talk about a guy, if Karl Anthony Towns was either in foul trouble, which he struggled with at times this year, or just off, he was able to be the guy that could hold the fort down, right? And he's now gone.
Yeah.
Not only gone, he's on the other side of the country, but I'm just saying he's gone. And he was a fan favorite. So now you got a guy that and he kind of came up through the ranks, right? And he's gotten better, and then he found a really good role and was able to be a great teammate with Karl Anthony Towns coming in, and now see him taking obviously a backup role, and now he's gone. So they probably need to find a way to adjust it. Now, will the owners say, okay, we'll adjust the first and second apron? Do we stay at 82 games? The players should come back and say, well, we'll make these 82 games better if we have more viable depth of players on our roster. So you're going to have to spend more or whatever. But what they need to do is come together, because this is the perfect chance and opportunity for them with LeBron, KD, Steph aging out. If they can get their star players to be star players and find a couple sellable, I'll just call them assets, just that because LeBron and those guys are able to be on commercials to do so. Or you're going to have LeBron, Steph, and those guys on and around as ambassadors. And then you're going to have some of the younger players like, oh, we can't expand. Well, they're corporate. They're not just, they're entities. They have one name: Jordan, Tiger, Bron, Steph. Like, you're not there yet.
No. You'll probably never get there. Don't stop dreaming, but
you might not get there because you aren't able to take that mantle. So I think the NBA has got to find a way for the Kyle Kuzmas and those guys. It came up during the season because we talked about it
a little bit.
Because there was a player, I think, with the Orlando Magic. Because we were talking about the Orlando Magic. Maybe it was at the beginning of the playoffs. And he tweeted out something like that. And also, who else is great to listen or to read on X? I was going to say Twitter, but X is Michael Redd.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's awesome. And just about everything, but he is awesome when he talks about that. He talks about the locker room dynamics and what he hopes for a lot of these young draft boys, because he's been there, and obviously he was lucky enough to have good veterans.
I'm curious to see, too. I think your LeBron Steph ambassador point is an interesting one. Players Association, I believe, can opt out of the CBA in 2028. The deal's set to expire in 2030, but if the players aren't happy, they'd opt out. I'd be curious to see, Jay, if LeBron and Steph do that ambassador role, how much of that is for the league versus for the players? Because I think it'd be great for the Players Association, the next wave, to have guys like that in their corner. Hey, we made our, millions, billions, if you're LeBron, billion single, I guess at this point, we're going to pour this energy back into improving the conditions for you guys, the players. But guess what? The NBA is going to want those two guys, probably amongst others, as faces for expansion, what the league wants. And there's no reason it can't be mutually beneficial eventually. But maybe not universally beloved LeBron, but biggest name, right? and a guy in Steph Curry that, as far as we know, has a pretty sterling reputation in public and behind closed
and he's
doors.
international too.
Right. If they're all of a sudden, as soon as they're done playing, going to bat for the league, I don't know if that's wrong, but I don't know how that's going to sit with the players necessarily.
Well, the funny thing is, with these type of players that are coming in, they don't even know because they don't care.
Which is another problem.
That's actually the biggest problem.
Mm.
And yeah, throw Chris Paul in there because he's
yeah.
heavily involved.
Mhm.
I do think in sports you can have that bridge there, but obviously you want LeBron and those guys being the face for their players association. And you're going to have to sit at the table and work with the ownership because, the better that the owners feel about the CBA, the more that you'll get paid. You can't come in and just, what my grandma used to say, you can't be coming in there, be roguish and just take everything. And so, as long as they're not backstabbing, the Players Association, obviously we've heard the horror stories about the NFL, about the leadership at, the NFLPA, just all the players, working with the owners, backstabbing the play, all that type of stuff. I don't think that happens in the NBA, but also I think that for the betterment of the NBA, if you're trying to expand for expansion teams, you got to have these guys because when you talk about forecasting, right, and what they're doing, you don't have anybody that can represent the NBA. Even just say they all decided to all retire in 2 years, just whatever, all of them, the big guys, right? KD, Bron, Steph. Draymond's not in there, but just say him because he's a big.
You'll know the name.
Yeah, he's a big personality. And all those guys say, you know what, we're all going to go out together, right? Who's going to represent the league? Who's going to be the face of the league? Who's going to be on the commercials? Who's going to be the sellable asset for every franchise? You can't name them.
There's not one.
For the Atlanta Hawks, who? It used to be Trae Young. He's gone.
He gone.
Right? So you don't know now that he's with the Wizards and he's aging. So you could say, okay, DeBan, so okay, that's fine. He'd be what, in the third year in his league? What did he do? Right?
Great.
Okay. You don't know in Atlanta. Utah. You don't have anybody, right?
Tatum's not about that,
right?
To that degree.
Tatum's not about that, even though he's getting a little bit there, but he's got to play better to do that. That's the hard part. Tatum's a handsome dude, been out there in commercials. We got to see you, my brother, in the biggest moments.
He's an NBA superstar. He's not a global icon.
Right.
And if you try to make Jason Tatum a global icon, you're going to pull some teeth.
Right. And then you got to think, okay, for Philly, right? Your best player is the guy that you're scared of because he's your smartest player.
Right.
He's the fear. He strikes the fear of God in every coach and every owner out there because he's a phenomenal player. He's one of the best players in the NBA, and he's not going to back down from you, and he's extremely smart. So
right.
you can't put anything on him, over on him. So
and then we get into the same discussion we've had. Is it Wembanyama? Is it Giannis? Is it Joker? Before he goes back to riding horses, do you have to hold out hope that Cooper Flag develops? Is it Flag versus DeBonsa?
Probably Cooper Flag. I will be willing to bet that. That's one.
That's who they're going to try.
Okay.
And I think he seems amenable to it.
He is.
But he's still got to perform.
Right. And let's just say
he's
that's probably the safest bet because he's invested. Okay. That's one. You can't really do Giannis because he's not homegrown.
Right.
Okay. And he'd be aging by then. That'd be 3 more years from now. Same with Joker.
Right.
I guess you could say Shea, but he doesn't even fit his personality, right? But
right.
Okay, if you do that, that's 2.
Is Harper going to get there?
No,
probably not because of Wemby. He's international.
Right? Say, okay, Wemby. You could say, okay, he's our international flavor. Okay, after that, there's nobody. So right now,
there's Cam Boozer, but
and I'll tell you. You know what? I'll tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. I watched Cam. I took the time. I said, let me just watch this dude. I know I've been hard on Cam Boozer. I said he runs like he got Timberlands on. He has more lift than his dad. He does. He's a better athlete than his dad.
And he put it right on Mara's head for his first 2 points of Summer League. Baptized.
And he's got more bounce than I gave him credit for. I think he's actually going to be better than I said. And the reason why I think he's going to be better than I thought he would be, and maybe it's because I think there's more space for him in the NBA. Everybody knew who he was in college. They were focusing on him. His ability, he can do everything that you need with or without the basketball without trying to score. And then he knows how to score easy.
Yeah.
And that skill that he has, what I just said, he'll play as long as he wants.
Oh yeah.
Because he his 3-point shot is better than I think people gave him credit for too. Because hitting that NBA 3 with ease is different than hitting college.
Mhm.
Don't be shaking your head, Austin.
It took 2 weeks to the day the Jedi mind trick finally sunk
Look
in.
in there.
I did it.
Man.
I
You
made
over
it.
there looking, man.
I knew it was going to.
Look, you just, yeah, I got him. I had him thinking. I said he's going to be all right. All right.
And I just got you to say more than that.
Yeah, he's going to be all right. But he ain't no Caleb Wilson, though.
Wouldn't want to be Caleb Wilson.
He ain't going to be like that, man.
He's going to be better. That's right.
It's not happening.
All right, let's go to break. More on this and plenty more. Your thoughts as well. Starter Heyman Jewelers text line 402-464-5685. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. More of Old School after this.
Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion with Window World Lincoln. Are you ready to transform your home? We offer exceptional replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing that will elevate your home's curb appeal and value. As a nationally known, locally owned business, we treat you like family and work tirelessly to deliver the best for less. Don't wait to give your home the upgrade it deserves. Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or check out windowworldlincoln.com. Let's make your home the talk of the neighborhood.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 to signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you become ill or injured at work and need an experienced attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court, protect your rights and freedom to get you the best possible results for your case and the justice you deserve. Trust your rights and freedom to Liberty Law Group, attorneys serving Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Kendall Warnock here, owner of A1 Automotive. If you own a BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, or Mini, specialized service matters. Our team uses advanced diagnostic equipment, OE equipment, including factory-level software, to accurately diagnose and repair your vehicle. Dealer-level capabilities with hometown service. A1 Automotive, 1117 L Street. You can call us 402-477-4660.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier, furry friends.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in. It is Old School, back officially on the radio dial. Royals wrap up a 15-1 win over the Philadelphia Phillies. Nick Wyman and I will talk about that win and some more Royals headlines coming up from 6 to 7 o'clock tonight for the Royals recap. But for now, Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. Apropos of nothing, Jay, I went to get some Starburst during break. I came away immensely disappointed. Double red.
Why you don't like that?
I just don't
What's your favorite?
So, I'm a yellow Starburst truther.
Dang. Really?
It's yellow, then orange, then pink, then red. The power rankings.
I like that. Orange is last for me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you can have my reds, and I'll take your oranges. We can make a trade or something.
No, I'm good. I'm trying to kick my candy habit.
Well, you can just open them up and give them to me then. Even better. You get nothing, I get everything. So I'm an owner, you're a player. This is
right.
This is working out really well. I see how the business is done.
You just automatically just winning today, ain't you?
Something like that. Haddo, why is there no green or purple Starburst? Well, because they're not Skittles, my friend. So continuing this conversation, Jay, a little bit on CBAs. I wanted your perspective to, not that you ever went through one of these, but I know you've seen your fair share. You have a good business mind as well. Strikes and lockouts. It seems like we're approaching one in baseball. Obviously, the NFL has had its stoppages. The NBA also as well, that I remember. Who do strikes or lockouts hurt more, the players or the owners?
Players, for sure. You're dealing with billionaires. They can withstand a whole season off if need be. You know, it's crazy that you thought about that. Is one of the things I was going to talk about is that about this, you know, what could happen of it. And the reason why the players always lose out, or generally, I mean, MLB generally comes out on the end players wise, but at least in the hit with Tony Clark, but Tony Clark obviously was doing some other stuff, but is you have to be solid. You have to have solidarity, and mainly you have to have your big name players, your best players be lock and step with your free agents or low, you know, obviously income players, and your middle, like kind of your utility guys, nut and bolt guys. They all got to be willing to stand together, and that's when you'll get changed. And here's an example of it. In 1987, matter of fact, I'm going to ask you to Google this. 1987, you see some of the big name players that went across the picket lines when now mind you, the NFL had work stoppage in 1982. In 1987, it happened again. So you got to think it was never like right. 1987. There's some huge names that you would be significantly disappointed in that if I was a player, if I was like me as a tenure, right? I mean, obviously I played a while, but you know, I wasn't, you know, Peyton Manning or anything like that. So I was one of the guys, nuts and bolts guys. I was a good player, but not great and all that, whatever. I'd be disappointed. So in my case, if Ray Lewis, Peyton Manning, say Tom Brady, like I'm just thinking about big name guys when I played, Randy Moss or somebody like that, Terrell Owens, we all had a strike, right? We were all locked out, and they decided to go back and play. Bless them with these names.
I'm seeing Tony Dorsett.
Yep.
I'm seeing Too Tall Jones.
Yep. And Randy White.
Yep.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana was one of them. LT. Yep. Trying to scroll. Howie Long.
Yep.
Let's see. Scrolling through, trying to find some more names. Doug Flutie after his trade.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Lawrence Taylor, like you mentioned, Mark Gastineau, pretty famous for
big name,
for having crossed that line.
But he was a great player too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah.
Merrill Hope.
Yep. Merrill Hodge. Yeah.
Hodge. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
More of a.
Yeah, at least knew the
name.
name. Yeah. Let's see. Steve Largent.
Yep.
For Seattle.
Hall of Fame. How many of those guys are Hall of Famers?
Dwight Clark.
Yep.
Roger Craig. Joe Montana. All from San Francisco, obviously.
Right, thinking they can win the Super Bowl.
The St. Louis Cardinals had pretty much the entire roster.
Yeah.
Across the picket line. So, I mean, those are some notable. Montana, Taylor.
So imagine a leadership position when that happens, right? You're weakened, right? And imagine if you were a player, I wouldn't say that you're living check to check, but obviously you're not one of the highest paid players, and maybe you just been in the league for a couple of years.
Mhm.
So you're kind of really tightening down for this battle, and the guys that already have longer money and established players are selling you out. So when you talk about the potential work stoppage, everybody thinks it's all. I truly believe no league, major sports league, it should never come to that point. Never should come to that point. Everybody makes way too much money. How does it ever get to the point and I get it, you have to posture. But at the end of the day, you're going to get to the same position at the 23rd hour that you could have got to in the first hour. And
Or at least the 12th hour.
Or 12th hour.
If you want to argue.
Sure.
But get it over with.
Sure. Do you really got to fly all? I remember there was times when with the CBA, they would fly like our so-called representatives there and meet with the owners, and it would be like an hour. Because they would just ask for something that, one side would ask for something that there's no way that the other one would go to. You're wasting time and you're wasting money and you're ruining people's lives and careers.
And ruining your sport. For what?
Yeah. And I didn't look, I can't, NFL. I mean, obviously I was blessed enough to play in the NFL, and, do decent for my, do it decent or whatever. So I'm not totally complaining about the benefits, but I will tell you this. I remember having a conversation with Phil Hansen, who was a NFL player rep. And I think I was in my first or second year in the league. And I think Phil played at one of the Dakotas in college, older than me, great player for Buffalo. So it was Bruce, Ted Washington, Phil started his whole year. I mean, his whole career is great. Real quiet guy, very smart. But we were flying back. It was either after June minicamp. I was flying back to Minneapolis. So his house was somewhere in Minnesota, and so we were flying on the same. We were sat next to each other, and he was, I think he was a first round pick, but he was kind of like a nuts and bolts guy, very quiet, And I talked about it, and I told him, I said, one of the problems I have is like you have all the reps are all the highest paid guys. They don't know what the hell what I need. Or what I think about, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Or what can benefit me, how I can become vested in and all that stuff. Some of those guys over making 10, 12 times what I'm making. They don't care. They get a free trip for their family over to Hawaii. Everything's set up for them to be, keep going. They don't have to worry about, if they need, if they get a bad surgery or a second opinion and all that, and it benefits how long after they get done playing. They're already kind of ready-made right then, and so that always stuck in the back of my mind about leadership in that point. And if you could really find a way to get good leadership, I think you could have more like peaceful negotiations and to get to it. Like we need to get as close as possible to these two main factors on each side. And you generally could get there.
That's also why I can go back to my point from last segment. LeBron and Steph being the face. Not to say they're not smart, not to say they're not invested. It just hits so different for them, right? There's a reason the league, I think, would pursue LeBron and Steph for ambassadorships in some ways, because the league made a lot of money off of them. They made a lot of money from the league. And not to say that they don't know what their teammates are going through, but it's harder for them to know. How could they? It's not their lived experience. They'll have spent the better part of 20 years, give or take,
in the top 1% of the league,
in the top 1% of the world. Let alone especially the league, right?
Yeah.
Which is where, not to say they're not smart or they wouldn't do a good job. They're just more risks to that point of, hey, I don't know what it's like. Hey, I've never been there, or it's been a long time since I've been there. I forget what this is like. And these are the actual real important issues, because what are we talking about? Supermax, big name players, big and little, but how many guys have we actually named that are nuts and bolts guys? Like
None.
3.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 across 2 different segments for guys that are just, facilitate the game type of players.
Yeah. And so, you know what else I was thinking? I know LeBron had said he wanted to have some sort of ownership, right? Now, see, Michael Jordan did up to recently. And then obviously, I think, they were saying part of the reason why he came, with the Wizards back to playing was to learn how to be in ownership, and obviously worked out really well for him. And obviously the NBA didn't bat an eye, when it came to it. He didn't have to jump through, as many hoops as say as, I don't know, somebody that owns the Hampton or something. I wonder if the NBA owners will try to control players like LeBron, Steph, with the enticement of true ownership in teams, because you go from a former player to an active owner.
Hey, we'll give you a seat at the table.
Well, that's your new team.
Mm-hmm.
It's your new team.
Yeah.
You're in the billionaires club, and no matter what, but you're a former player. That's great, man. You're a great player, man. I remember cheering on for you. You were phenomenal. You remember when you scored those 48 points against stuff? Yeah, man, that was great. But guess what? You're in the owner suite now. Now you're thinking like an owner, and that's how you have to side with, because as you see in the NFL, they're thick as thieves, unless you're like Daniel Snyder or something like that. So I wonder if they forecast this coming down, them stepping into a bigger role with the PA, and you offer them some true ownership, not minority. We're talking about like Jordan. Does that eliminate them from helping the players out as much as possible?
I'm sure guys like that would be savvy enough to just meet with their friends, right? Or take on mentorship roles for players and pass some stuff down. Yeah. But I'm sure after a while, owner brain would have to set in, right? Not to, okay, I'm not trying to be, all, anti-owner here, but, Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
You're fine. Okay, virus took hold, and okay, you're full zombie.
Yeah.
Right? It probably wouldn't happen, all at once. But that's where that's the interesting part. What if these guys aren't cut out for ownership, right? How was Jordan as an owner? Fine, replacement level. Basketball wasn't very good. It's one thing, I think, if the NBA were to offer, just for the sake of conversation, like we've been using LeBron James and Steph Curry, ownership stakes, but are they the ones that are actually at the meetings voting, right? Are they the principal? Are they the governors, right? Are they the ones that are voting? Could they get ownership in, I don't know, say a Vegas franchise, or in, a Seattle franchise, whatever? Yeah. And would you want LeBron and Steph voting up there if you're the owners? Would you want them voting up there if you're the players? I'd be fascinated to see how those internal conversations in politics work, because I could see it going myriad ways.
Yeah, it could go in many ways, and that's where it's going to be so interesting where the NBA is at. They're, I won't say on thin ice, but they're approaching a gray area, as they're rolling through that, what I like to call the vortex. They don't know how long they're going to be in this gray area, because when you think about the NBA, all the way back from Dr. J, right? From Dr. J, and then you had Magic and Bird. Then here comes Jordan. Then you had, obviously, with Shaq, Kobe, and everything. Then, obviously, LeBron and company. You're able to usher it over. Now there's a big dip. It's not just the play on the court. It's the personalities, the brand. They're not there. And matter of fact, a lot of these young athletes and stars either are telling you they don't want to do it, like Ant Edwards, or they're showing you they don't want to do it, like Zion and John Morant. And so how does that, affect, ownership in the NBA going forward? Well, now you're going to put some of your branded players that people are tired of seeing being so consistent out of the league in situations that are not going to be, I guess, a positive for them if they're owners but aren't principal owners. So now they're in no man's land, right? Because sure, they're making money as owners, but they're not making decisions. Well, then now you're viewed as like almost quote unquote sellout from the players because you're an owner, and then now you can't even help the players because you have some sort of ownership.
And that's what the owners want, right? Hey, we
exactly
made a lot of money off of you. We'll give you a little bit of a kickback with an ownership stake, but not enough to where you're quote unquote.
Yeah, you get to walk in and take a couple pictures. Yeah, it's called the Hoboken hustle. You just got to hustle. So for the NBA where they're at right now, it's tough. And same with MLB. The owners probably right now is like, man, Tony Clark has really been hitting home runs for you guys. Now let's see. Well, we need a little bit of get back, but I don't see it changing.
You mentioned another name in there for the NBA that I think is interesting, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Who I think, obviously has a pretty sterling basketball reputation, right? I mean, I think he's been Players Association president, at least for a while. I wonder where the NBA and or the players would fall with him, because, I mean, he was top 3 point guard alive for the better part of his career. But then at the end, he was a veteran getting traded around, just hanging on by a thread, not getting the max deals. I wonder if players or owners would view a guy like Chris Paul, even Andre Iguodala, who I think is maybe more in the Draymond Green camp of big name, if not ever, ultimate superstar. Guys like that have a good reputation, being smart, thoughtful about the game. If owners and players would view them the same, different, how their reputations would be in that sort of role.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating just because I think those type of players could benefit the Players Association. Business savvy. If you follow Andre Iguodala and Draymond Green and Chris Paul, very business savvy. Not the biggest brands, but kind of built themselves up to be great players, part of winning or teams, and obviously in the NBA history, you might be better off with something like that. I think they're just gonna have to figure it out, but they're in a tough spot right now, and it's not gonna get any easier. And then obviously with the way the league's going, you just never know where they're gonna end up, and so now they get on a little bit less footing as far as being able to have a strong hold on identity and fan base, because really to get a lot of change, you want the fans behind you as well.
Need the fans behind you.
I mean, you need them to go to bat for you. You need to be, that kind of social media pressure does pay off.
That it does. All right, we'll go to break, wrap up hour 2 of the show with some college basketball news right after this.
Orman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, take the worm, put it on the hook, and bring your pole back and throw it forward. And just let the fish come to you.
I got a bite! It's a big one, Dad! Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
There's a jalapeno heat wave rolling through Amigos, and honestly, we're here for it. The new crisp jalapeno popper burrito is stuffed with bold jalapeno cream cheese filling for a smooth, spicy heat in every crispy bite. And the new jalapeno popper Frenchies are a perfect fiery twist on the classic fave. This summer, the heat index is officially set by Amigos, and it's a jalapeno heat wave. Try the newest bold, fresh flavors at Amigos. Hey USA, it's your 250th birthday, and Amigos brings the party. The Yankee Burrito is back, and what's more American than a hot dog? In a crispy tortilla. This summer, the All-American Twist is back too, for just $3.99. There's festive layers of red slushy, white soft serve, and blue slushy, with whipped cream and a cherry on top. Celebrate freedom, flavor, and fun in every bite, with a Yankee Burrito and All-American Twist, only at Amigos.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Green's Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hey, Nebraska sports fans. This summer, professional tennis returns to Lincoln. Watch rising stars of the ATP Tour compete for over $100,000 in prize money for the 2026 Lincoln Challenger from July 12th to the 19th at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. Witness top tennis pros compete right here in Lincoln and experience tennis close-up like never before. To purchase tickets or to sign up for volunteer opportunities, please visit www.lincolnchallenger.com. Not just a stop, a stage. Lincoln Challenger 2026.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-fast fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment in hour 2 of the show. Full hour 3 straight ahead. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. Some news out of college basketball. Former University of Kentucky, among other places, guard Kerr Kriisa allegedly operated a $2.2 million online scam. Kerr Kriisa, one-time Nebraska men's basketball target, would have been paired up. Right? Yes, Arizona was where he really came. For sure. Yeah. I believe he was at West Virginia at some point as well, around his time at Kentucky. Jay, this man was
I know what he did.
Falsely claiming that, hey, I just need some money. I will sell my organs to pay you back, among other things. People thought it was going to be some point shaving, which is not at all what it turned out to be. But yeah, a $2.2 million scheme that included creating fake personas, claiming his mother had cancer, his family was losing its farm, and just general scamming. So, is that better or worse than betting on your team, Brendan Sorsby?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wonder how these guys get involved in this, because they make so much money right now. And I get it. I mean, it's not, he's got to continue to make money, and obviously you got to play well, but who approached you about this scheme?
Or did you come up with it yourself?
Did you come up with it yourself? So that's what the weirdest thing is. And I mean, obviously there's a lot of regret, hopefully on his side, but look, you got to think about the lives he affected for the people that gave him money.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can't play basketball.
He was out of college, and even officially out of college, even in this new wackadoodle era. But
yeah,
every
time you read one of these stories, it's like, dang, who would ever thought? I just think to myself, being in the dorm or wherever you're living, student house and sports houses or whatever, I know they got apartments down here on campus. Yeah, man, watch an NBA game or whatever. Yeah, man, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just make up a story. I'm gonna pose myself as Joyce Garrison. And then it worked.
Well, why not?
Yeah, but there's no way I'm gonna get caught. I stole all this $2 million. There's no way they're not gonna catch me. I'm the smart one,
right?
So it's tough for him. Obviously he got some punishment coming his way. But I do wonder about these student athletes, right? And you see it if you just look on social media. I don't really definitely don't follow a lot of Nebraska players. Don't communicate. I'd always try to not to communicate with them or try to communicate with them because they're college kids, and I think it's a line. I know some guys on the media do, but you see these guys when they get a chance to break, they vacation. And the reason why I'm saying is sometimes you go to some of these places, Vegas or wherever, or overseas, sometimes going back home, because back then, if you played during my era, you ain't had no money. You get exposed, or you come across some people in some of these clubs or whatever that just aren't the most upstanding people. They kind of can put these ideas in your head. And if, you're 20, 18, 22 years old, your frontal lobe or whatever isn't even fully developed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how bad decisions I think are made.
Oh, it's harmless. No one will ever find out.
Yeah.
Done this a million times
before. It works
before.
all the time. Why? It works. Man, I've done this 100 times. There's no way they're going to catch you.
60% of the time. It works all the time.
And then there's one name that they always give them.
Yours. without fail.
Yeah.
All right, with that, on to hour 3 of Old School. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. Big thanks to Graham Tire Company for their sponsorship of the show, celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. Come back with us, final hour of the show, right after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Green's Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home, so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Whether it's a range session to get accurate club distances, 18 holes with some buddies, or a one-on-one lesson with Back Nine's PGA teaching professional, their top-of-the-line full-swing simulators are there to help you lower your score in perfect conditions. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake. Back Nine Golf, the premier indoor golf experience.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Is there anything worse than paying for something that's done half-assed? You buy something, you want it to work, especially when it comes to your internet. When you're trying to stream a movie, work from home, or shop online, half-assed internet doesn't get it done. At Allo Fiber, we don't do anything half-assed. We offer 100% real fiber and real human support that serves the community from the community. So while others may say they have fiber, in the end, there's half-fast fiber, and then there's Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, internet built for you.
Building a new home can be a challenge, a lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Staying healthy and comfortable starts with the air you breathe. If you're noticing more dust, odors, or allergies, it could be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Pure Air starts with cleaner air ducts, pair with enhanced filtration and purifications options, and the difference is amazing. When the air you breathe is clean and fresh, your home smells fresher and your family is healthier. Time for cleaner air in your home? Call Bryant for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Hour 3, Jay Foreman and the Jedi Mind Trick doing extraordinaire, Austin Orman. We're Old School. We are brought to you by Graham Tire. Graham Tire has been serving the Midwest for 75 years. There's 4 locations in Lincoln. Look them up, GrahamTireofLincoln.com. Not only will they hook you up as far as tires goes, but they will take care of all your car and truck needs. Tell them Austin and Jay sent you, or Old School, and they definitely will hook you up. Austin,
Jay.
It is now officially football time.
We made it.
We made it.
Here we are.
It is time. The body's changing. The mind is thinking about it. You feeling it. I smell it in the air every day. You just feel it. It just and I'm gonna tell you this, man. I could be driving down the street, thinking about a memory, like, yeah, it's football time. I'm thinking like these guys need to get. They starting to get ready. Hopefully,
it need to be.
Now, with that being said, I didn't get to send you the article today. I was at the doctor's appointment, but I wanted. There's an article about. Or it wasn't even an article. It was a tweet. I have it here. I'll just tell you, and it's real simple. It's from Brad Powers 7. It says 92% of blue chip recruits, 4 and 5 stars recruits have already committed. So that's like your Trey Taylors, so forth and so on. For 19 straight years, Alabama has signed a 24/7 Sports composite top 5 class.
Woo.
That streak has ended this year, and there's a possibility Alabama doesn't even finish in the top 25. Right now, they are ranked 45. So obviously, they're below the likes of obviously Nebraska, so forth and so on. So I started to think and go back and look at the importance of classes. Obviously, worked out really well for Alabama, but more importantly, it did because of the coaches and the coaching staff that Nick Saban was able to put together that made these rankings come to life. And there wasn't a transfer portal for majority of that time. So I went back and I wanted to read off some of these names. This is the all-time Nebraska recruits, the highest ones.
Okay.
Needless to say, Jay Foreman is not on there. I need to be, but I should.
Well, there's something just got lost in translation.
And I don't think they had it back then because Grant Wistrom would be up there for sure because I know he was a USA Today Defensive Player of the Year. So you would have to be almost guaranteed to be one of the highest. The number 1 rated all time is Marlon Lucky from Hollywood, California, North Hollywood.
Bill Callahan special.
Uppity, but yeah. So and he was pretty decent.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. But I think Brandon Jackson ended up being the bell cow, right?
That was kind of odd because I always thought Brandon Jackson got a little bit short shrift because Marlon Lucky was there. Now, Brandon Jackson had the NFL career.
Yeah,
Marlon Lucky did.
He got drafted second round, right?
Was it second?
Second or third?
It's pretty high.
Yeah, pretty high. Because I remember watching the draft. I was like, dang, who's this dude? Because I'm thinking about Marlon Lucky. Marlon Lucky actually was pretty decent, but he's the number 1 guy. Do you know who number 2 is?
I believe it's Baker Steinkuhler, isn't it?
Negative goes
Dylan
right.
Raiola.
Dylan Raiola.
Okay.
With a composite 5-star ranking, 99. I'm looking on Husker 24/7.
Gotcha.
99. That means it can't miss.
Pretty good.
Yet to be seen. You know who's number 3?
I know Baker's up there somewhere.
He is.
Let's see. Sue wasn't quite that high, was he?
No, House of Spears wasn't there.
I'm trying to think.
That's why that's
think.
so interesting because now we're going to talk about the next point. It's tea time. Trey Taylor.
No
who
way.
is yet still, yeah.
Huh.
What's his dad's name? RJ or something?
Mister?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. You said he's supposed to be on here. I'm holding you accountable. Accountability down here, Mr. Taylor. I know you around here somewhere because your kid lives here. We'll hold you accountable.
Again, 1040 O Street.
Tea time. Trey Taylor is 98, number 3.
Wow.
Guess who's number 4? This should be one of our trivia questions that we need to save for in the football season.
Who is
you would never
Matt Harrion.
No, but he was cold though.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. It's a tight end though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the guy's name.
Yeah.
From Papio or Millard or
He's from Millard.
yeah, Millard North, I think.
No, one of them.
Millard.
Millard West.
Millard West. Yeah, I can. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah. Chris Septak.
Chris Septak. Yep.
He's number 4.
Man.
Did he play?
He had the injury, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty bad one.
Number 5 is Aaron Green.
Oh yeah. He was in the class with Braylon Hurd.
Yeah, and I think he ended up transferring. Aaron
TCU.
Green. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he did good down there. Yeah, yeah. And I think he got hurt, but he was really balling down there.
Mm-hmm.
Then Baker came in as an offensive tackle,
mm-hmm.
and then he moved to defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. Then House of Spears. So you hit it there, but it took a little while. Soccer player, imagine 6'4", 280-pound soccer player. Worked out pretty good for House of Spears. Number after Indomitian is yet to be determined if he's a good recruiter or not. Is Torrey Pittman.
Oh, Torrey Pittman, okay.
Because he's still in high school.
Sure.
We're just going to rank him. He's number 93. Then Danny Odom, who's here but hasn't played yet because he was an early enrollee.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that is Courtney Grigsby.
Yep. Okay.
Here's one here for you from Bishop Gorman High School. So this must have been nice Mike.
Christian Jebbia.
No,
he was
Tyjon Lindsey.
Tyjon Lindsey, that's right.
That was during Nice Mike, right?
That's right. Yeah, because Nebraska beat Ohio State for him.
Tyjon Lindsey. Right. Then guess what? Turner Corcoran.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, a linebacker from Liberty, Missouri. This is right after I left. This dude 6'1", 200 pounds. I could have told you he couldn't play. Jason Reichenberger.
Bless you. First and last time I've heard that name.
Yeah. Then Carter Nelson, still yet to be seen. This got to be a breakout year for him. From Ainsworth. No, after that, Lyden Murtha from Hutchinson, Minnesota. That's a country town. That's a big dude there. See, that's an Iron Range. Somebody from the Iron Range come down there and planted their seeds. That's a dude that's up from Thief River Falls. His like great-great-grandpa came down here. Must have been trying to go somewhere else, stopped and had a little visit, and then he stayed. He's a big dude. He was good.
Yeah,
he ended up playing a few years in the league. Philip Dillard.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He ended up being decent, right?
Didn't realize he was that high of a recruit.
Yeah, from Jenks, Oklahoma. Yeah. Titus Adams, I think he was good. He played for the Patriots. He was good.
Mm-hmm.
Malachi Coleman, he's at Wisconsin now.
People forget. People forget.
And I think one of the things we'll stay on Malachi, right? I think one thing about Malachi is obviously a lot of potential. But he needed like that first couple years is not. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not even in the whole fair thing. But when you are, so he didn't play football like from knee high to a grasshopper. Kind of was a late starter, but a great athlete, right?
Yeah.
I always thought that he could be for me, I would have put him at rush in or at outside linebacker. 6'4", long. 4'4", I mean, you're 190 pounds. All I gotta get you is a 230, and you getting drafted. Because once I get you to run that 40, they don't care if you can play dead. Because you literally in a wide 9 in rushing, but he needed development.
Mm-hmm.
He needed that nurturing, and he didn't get it. Kind of now he's got to play in catch up. So now he's at Wisconsin. So hopefully he does well. But he was a high recruit, right? But is nothing against him. It's all potential because he hasn't had the longevity up to his career yet, right? So, or at least high school career. Then after him is David Horn.
Okay.
Running back from Omaha Central. Long lineage of running backs coming from there.
Yeah.
He was decent. He played some. I think he got injured a little bit, but I think he was good. Jamal Turner. Remember that?
One-time quarterback, Jamal Turner.
Remember Bo was like, Jamal.
Yeah.
Got
the game winner against Michigan State.
Yep.
Probably his best moment in Nebraska.
Yeah. Late transition to like kind of slot receiver, 6'1", 180. So that's kind of where you can be a really good. And this is, I'll stop right here. This is what I always, some kids that I like mentor and parents and families, I always say, listen, you have to be realistic about who you are. And they have him listed as dual threat athlete. Like for me, being almost 6'3" and 185, 90 pounds is different being him. He wasn't 6'1".
No.
Right? So he was a quarterback in high school. So they probably sold him on coming here as a quarterback. He was never going to be a quarterback here. Right? So you need to go to a place that have shown the history of playing a quarterback. I'll even give you 6'1" or shorter to your skill set. Because if you go to a school that has never done that, you end up switching positions late in your career and you never kind of be able to be as productive as you like.
School or coach?
Both. Well, I kind of put them the same, but yeah, sure. Coaches, head coach, offensive coordinator, position coach, assistant position, or assistant offensive coordinator or whatever. So all of them. That's the research you have to do.
Does that extend then to the other side of the height spectrum to a guy like Heinrich Harbert, who looked the part, had more football training than Malachi Coleman did, but made that position switch with 13 games left in his career or whatever?
Well,
you
you needed a coach that would come in and had the eye for him to move, which Coach Rule did.
Yeah.
Which Frost probably should have. Frost probably saw a lot of himself in the Heinrich, but you didn't look at the day of college football that you needed.
Same sort of thing with McCaffrey?
Probably.
Maybe.
And I think McCaffrey wanted to play quarterback, but I think was best position. I don't know what that situation was. But yeah.
Someone else was able to convince him, which either means
rather
that
easily. But I think he went down there as a quarterback to Rice, and then
he did. But again, they were still able to get him to move. And again, it worked out for him. And maybe it's one of those things that he just had to move for his eyes to be open. Oh, I get it. And I'm not trying to say the parting was wrong for either side, right? Luke McCaffrey, if he really wanted to play quarterback, wasn't happening at Nebraska, had to move on.
Yeah.
It's just a bummer when you see guys make that position switch somewhere else succeed. Why didn't you see it, or why couldn't you convince him?
What was the real conversation like? Was it a short conversation? Was it a conversation that you had? You didn't, like say he pushed back. Okay, you push back, but then maybe you can have the conversation a little bit later. Do you need to call the parents and really understand and get them to see the light? I think his dad was a receiver.
Like a good receiver.
Right.
Notable receiver.
Yeah, he was cold-blooded too. So, and his mom was a high-level athlete. If they can pick up on the spider senses that you're making a decision that's not only best for the team, but your son.
Well, one of the other brothers is a running back. You might have heard of before.
Right.
And the other one was a quarterback. You can't play two quarterbacks. Just go play wide out, young fella.
So
just for family thing.
Who knows? You would like to see that work out. Then there's, let me see where I was at. Jordan Agbanoma.
Yep. In this class.
Coming up at 27. So he's out there, right? Charles Jackson was a straight up hitter. I think he got hurt a little bit here. He was a decent player. Wando Robinson, that again, we never got to see the fruits of our labor, right? Because remember, we had him as a wing back. He was good. Then we tried to play him too much at running back. And then he goes to Kentucky and now he's been in the league. I don't know how many years. He just got paid, the Tennessee Titans. And he had his first 1,000-yard season.
Yep.
Next is Lamar Jackson. I think he was the number 1 rated corner for safety.
You're really high. Yeah.
Yeah. Was decent. He played a few years in the league. Then Thomas Fedoni. It's always like, what if, because I think, again, really good in 707. Probably needed a little bit more seasoning. And then start off with kind of the injury bug. He never really got going. Then Grant Bricks, still waiting to see, right? He's on the team right now from Logan, Iowa. He's a 26th overall highest rated recruit. Now, granted, this is before like Mike Rozier and Lawrence and Tommy and all. So this is but still.
Stars era.
Yeah. So there's a lot of those guys still on the team. Braylon Hurd, remember him?
Yep. Came in the same class as Aaron Green, I believe.
Cardinal Mooney. He was decent. Xavier Betts. That's a big what if. Man.
Not as big a what if as Xavier Watts, who ESPN gave as the best number 0 in college football history last week.
I saw that.
Which is kind of wild.
That's probably a little steep, but Xavier Watts did want to come to Nebraska. I know for a fact his dad told him he wanted to come to Nebraska. Somebody fumbled.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xavier Betts also good for a moment.
Yeah. Cortez Mills on the team still. John Raridan, offensive guard from West Des Moines.
Interesting.
Remember 2016?
There's a name.
Probably a little undersized, 6'2", 258. That means you're 6'1", 250. So probably, but really, that's where you got to see. You got to go to a place for him that plays a guard at your height. You got to think that was Scott Frost or end of Nice Mike and Scott Frost, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you got to think Frost wanted his linemen to be huge,
Massive.
tall and big, right? You
Yep.
don't fit that no matter what you did. So unless you're really, really like outstanding, right?
Because isn't that about what Justin Evans is?
Yes.
I mean, he's height-wise, right? He's obviously bulked up
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah.
but this coaching staff made it work. Previous
Made it
ones,
work.
not
And you
so
got to
much.
give it. Mike Dawson recruited him, I think, originally, and
That's right.
then because he was such a dominant player. So,
Mhm.
Bubba Starling, that probably is the biggest what if in Nebraska history, right?
Ooh.
What if he came here?
Ooh, I don't know.
No. I got to take that back. Carl Crawford.
Yeah. Because it would have been Bubba Starling or Tommy Armstrong at that point.
Yeah,
Bubba would
we're
have been
just
the
saying,
bridge
what
to
if he
Tommy.
came here?
Right.
Or what if he?
I mean, Carl Crawford's a big one.
Yeah, Carl Crawford.
You can go back to, other recruiting misses, not for baseball, but,
Marshall
like
Falk.
Falk, other Lamar Jackson.
Who was a sophomore commit?
He was?
a commit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And your
People
boy,
forget.
what was the defensive end name? Pierre.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a commit. And I probably shouldn't say it, but
No.
yeah.
Statute of limitations and all that. But yeah, I mean, it's between Bubba Starling and Carl Crawford.
Yeah.
Baseball might have been Bubba Starling's third best sport. He's the quickest payday, though. And he was not.
It's hard to say no.
It is. You can't.
And then guess what? The next one is Dawson Merritt. I talk about him all the time. When you look at the guys that they have at that, too deep at that inside linebacker position, he has this is just my opinion. He has the most skills, football awareness. I look at closing speed, being able to play big, read and react. I think he's better. I mean, obviously he's very young and obviously got injured, so we'll see where he's at. But you talk about accumulating talent. A lot of them are still on the team.
Mm-hmm. Which is where I ask you then, is Nebraska in a place to where it needs to continue to play the veterans, or does Nebraska need to start taking a chance and letting the young bucks run wild, see what talent, what traits flash through? Because there's probably a point where, obviously you can't tank in college football, not like the NFL where, let's throw it out there and see what we got. But also I do wonder how often, I think you and I had this discussion too, Nebraska, Michigan back in, I think 2020, what would that have been, 2020, the game here, right?
Yeah.
Omar Manning's on the sideline at the end of the game, and I think Alex Bullock or Levi Falk or Wyatt Lever, whoever was in the game, right? You got to know the playbook. Your quarterback's got to be able to trust you. But also, don't you just at some point take a chance on the talent and just see over the long run if it's there and if it works? I think Nebraska, just to your point on the recruiting rankings, if there's this much talent on the roster, why is it not on the field? Why are you recruiting over it in the transfer portal? Why are you not letting it play? It's kind of a big picture question.
That's a good question. Before I answer that question, you got breaking news. Khalil Taylor did commit to Nebraska. Hayes Fawcett said so. So that means it's guaranteed. He's like the Shams or whatever of the NBA. So yeah.
Thank you, Hayes Fawcett.
So that's another receiver. So that goes right into that. That's why I want to say that, because we have accumulated a lot of talent, especially at the wide receiver room. You could talk at different positions, and that's a hard question because the pressure to win here is right now we got to win. But so you do have to play veterans. That's why you have to be very, I think, and I don't want to speak, I'm not speaking for them. It's just in my opinion. I think you have to be strategic when you go into the portal and not get blinded by the portal to the sense that you're not developing and playing your talent. Now, playing is different. So playing to these young guys are, hey, I'm here. I've shown up to everything. I've been to every meeting. I've done my arm curls. They look good. I've been on Instagram. Now I need to play. No. If you're here and I have a development plan, you need to go above and beyond. You have to work while you wait. Case in point, Emmett Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think you have to get bona fide playmakers if you need it, if it's a position in need, if you feel a little light at that position, like they did this year with the offensive line, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also think you have to also look at and still evaluate, develop, and sometimes play some of the young talent they have on the roster, even at that offensive line position. Like we rotated offensive line from pipeline 1 to pipeline 2. It works, right? And you can do it, right? Now, obviously, you got to play your big dogs. So I still think I think you, with this amount of talent, and there's still some that you probably not even looking at. Like you still got to think about that.
6296 says Isaiah Simmons and Jaron Kanak are up there for me for guys who were maybe committed but never made it to campus, ones that got away. But back to your point there, I don't want to rush to conclusions or judgment because I'm not in those meetings. I don't know what goes on in practice. And obviously, I want to defer to the coaches that see it every day. But let's just take the receiver position with all the talent you've mentioned there. What does Nebraska struggle to do for years? Get off the ball, get off press coverage. Well, if you have a guy, might be a freshman, that can beat press coverage, give him a shot. Oh, he's not ready for Big Ten football, or, oh, we don't know if he's going to be in the right spot. Well, okay, like I get it. That's certainly defensible. But there's also a risk the other way too, right? Maybe it's a boom or bust risk with a freshman. Maybe he'll end up, breaking the wrong way on a route and there's an interception. But the risk for the potentially lower ceiling veteran is, well, he couldn't make that play. He's not fast enough to go get that ball, not athletic enough to make that guy, whatever it is for different positions. And it just seems like there, and running back, I think especially too, maybe not the best example, but Maurice Washington, right? Pretty electrifying as a freshman. Nebraska put him out on the field, lived with the mistakes, and obviously it was the off the field stuff. But I feel like especially at the skill positions, even defensive backfield potentially, but it'd be easier with a better pass rush. Just put your athletes on the field. Even Dawson Merritt, right? I'm not saying give up on anyone that, you've already had on the roster, or any of the older players. But if the coaches agree with your assessment that Dawson Merritt is maybe the best true linebacker on the team with that combination of skills, just let him eat. Live with a mistake or two. You have a bunch of veterans around him. They'll pick him up, and you can live with a mistake here or there, I would think, if there's another splash play, because then it's going to pay dividends in the end of this season, into next season, in the year after that.
Yeah, this is just the little that we saw last year. High school obviously doesn't compare, but I'm talking about closing speed, football acumen, being able to read. I mean, he just looked like a natural play position. Now, look, he needed to get bigger and stronger, and then obviously got a little banged up. And so, he has to still work through that kind of muddy waters to get to where he needs to. But, you're right. I think it was easier to do that when I played. That was me. I was a red shirt, then I ended up starting as a freshman. But we had some dudes around me, right? And then plus I was invested not to let them down. When you're trying to reestablish yourself, you got to, you have to be a little bit more slow paced. But with the receivers, you got to play the guys that produce. I always say this, like me, Big 8 was physical back then, so it's no different than the Big 10. As a freshman versus when I was a sophomore or junior is totally different. There was stuff that, like I told you about the play I saw, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, oh man, I didn't do that well. But I can guarantee you later in my tenure here that I made that play. That just comes from experience. And so it's a catch-22 because you have that. That's why non-con and blowing guys out is so important. But then also is beating teams that you should in a timely fashion is also very important. To get guys reps. But then also when guys are starting to eat into some playing time, you got to play them. It's a hard job to do, to manage a roster along with all the financial, components to it. And that's why people that are making decisions get paid the big bucks. But you got to play them because you can't, it's a hard thing. You can't keep recruiting over them because then guys will be like, well, you just got Khalil Taylor. Now, guys start to kind of formulate their own opinion. He's coming in. So he's a 4-star recruit. Okay, so they got to be giving him this, and I'm only getting this. So that means he's already kind of leapfrogged me. Okay, then what about these other guys that are already here? Well, then all of a sudden now you got a whole bunch of guys in a small room looking at each other. There's only one football. You don't know who the quarterback's going to be. So you always just kind of start to play that type of game, and that's why re-recruiting your roster is so important.
Yeah.
And so
it's also difficult in football too, because you can't guarantee that just because the guy's on the field, he's getting the ball. Or he's going to make a play.
Especially at receiver.
And even running back, being so dependent on the offense. You can give him the ball, but how much of it's in his control? And defense, how do you know they're going to, pick on this guy and give him a chance to go make plays? The opportunism, being in the game, is the only way you get those opportunities. So you can't necessarily scheme it up to say, oh, we want our high ceiling guy out there for this play because we know we're going to get him the ball and he's going to do something cool.
And you don't want to force it to him because us defensive players like their percentages and we'll play to it. So we'll take a quick break, come back. We'll talk about a couple more guys on this list, and then obviously roster because it's football time and what Nebraska probably needs to look forward to. Tell some stories about what it's like after July 4th because your mindset has to change Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Sipple, co-host of Early Break, weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And my favorite thing to do, Hello, I'm Steve Sipple.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 with signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
Building a new home can be a challenge, a lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey, Nebraska sports fans. This summer, professional tennis returns to Lincoln. Watch rising stars of the ATP Tour compete for over $100,000 in prize money for the 2026 Lincoln Challenger from July 12th to the 19th at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. Witness top tennis pros compete right here in Lincoln and experience tennis close-up like never before. To purchase tickets or to sign up for volunteer opportunities, please visit www.lincolnchallenger.com. Not just a stop, a stage. Lincoln Challenger 2026.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds. It'll be hot with an afternoon high near 91. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds. The low around 69. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return with light winds and more hot temperatures. An afternoon high near 92. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey guys, this is Rudy Gress IV, host of Real Talk every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. One of my absolute favorite things to do in downtown Lincoln is get out, walk around, and support the amazing local businesses, especially the vintage clothing shops right in the heart of the city. There's just something different about shopping local. It's the personal interactions, the stories behind the pieces, and of course, finding some of the coolest, one-of-a-kind clothes you won't see anywhere else.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Heads up, LES customers, July 31st is almost here. And that's when our Fairfield Street customer lobby is closing for good. The good news, we've still got plenty of ways to support you. Find your best options at les.com.
Lincoln summers are hot, but Bonsall Pool and Spa is keeping it cool. We're celebrating our 75th diamond anniversary with a massive customer appreciation party on Saturday, July 11th from 11 to 3. Come hungry for free Muchachos food truck tacos and icy snow cones. Plus, score exclusive 4-hour flash sales on BioGuard chemicals and Polaris automatic cleaners. You can even enter to win a $7,500 premium backyard sauna giveaway. Celebrate 75 years with Bonsall Pool and Spa, 33rd and Nebraska Parkway. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been servicing the southeast Nebraska area since 1921, specializing in HVAC systems, bathroom remodels, duct cleaning, backflow testing, and so much more. With a network of trained technicians ready to assist you, Green's Furnace and Plumbing is your source for dedicated commercial HVAC services for your business, building, or even your home so it can run without unwanted interruption. Learn more by visiting their website at callgreens.com or give them a call at 402-467-4444 today.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
Well, we're back. Second segment. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. A little recruiting talk. And really posing the question, do rankings really matter? And obviously with Nebraska, now that granted, this is like late in the game as far as, the history of recruits coming here. And obviously we had some really good recruits that obviously ended up being really good that didn't have all this stuff out there. But when you look at it, you have the likes of, Preston Tamua. He's on there, hasn't really played much here at Nebraska. He was a 4-star, a 90 ranking. Then you have, we had Zach Lee at one point in time, and we had a D lineman named Malcolm Simpson. I don't even remember him.
Remember the name. Didn't do much.
Yeah, Nadab Joseph.
JUCO guy, Virginia Tech
Larry
guy.
Asante. This is a more Bo, his time. But then you go down to a guy that probably had one of the best NFL bodies that you could want out of the defensive lineman. This is actually, part of the Mike Riley tenure that he doesn't get enough credit for, because Banker as a defensive coordinator, I think had him going pretty good, was Greg McMullen. Remember his senior year?
There's a name.
Yeah, he was on draft boards and all that stuff. And then he's like, all right, I'm done playing football.
Yeah, that's right.
But had that NFL body where he could have been the tweener. He could have played the 5. He could have played the 3. He could have played a kind of like a elephant in where you're kind of really, anchoring down against the run. And so, but decided to do other things. When you talk about guys that, whether it's boom or bust or the rankings, a guy that, again, just like Malachi Coleman, is a guy that came out of JUCO or Kilgore College, Omar Manning. He would have been an outside linebacker for me. That's 6'4", 225.
Prototypical size.
Yeah.
Now with a coach like Roy Manning, maybe there would have been a last name connection there to get him in that room.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's always, when you look at it, there's some guys that, have been here and, some done well and then some done. But really the point of the conversation was about Alabama. Their run has now came to an end. Nebraska is going to end up being higher than them as far as the rankings goes, which obviously being top 5 for however many years in a row is obviously showing the ability of that Alabama brand. Obviously the crossover from Nick Saban, retiring to now to DeBoer, trying to reshape Alabama and kind of brand it. And he's more of a passing type of guy, more relaxed, but, obviously opens the door for guys that normally would just go down to Tuscaloosa and deal with not doing anything and just say, 3 or 4 years I'll be drafted, or looking elsewhere. So, but I will tell you this, as we've seen with this list, the rankings really, really don't mean tilly poo. It doesn't.
They do, but they don't.
They do, but they don't. Okay, let me ask you this. When we're talking about they do mean something, is it more for the perception to recruit others? So you can, you're kind of playing the numbers game. If we keep recruiting 4 or 5-star guys, we're going to start our hit rate's got to go up. Or is it doesn't mean something because you're accumulating high-level talent?
Yes.
Even though this right here is saying different.
Yes and yes. It's not everything, and Indiana might have broken this. I haven't seen the update, but every year I look forward to seeing CBS Sports' blue chip ratio, the percentage of a roster that is 4 or 5-star players based on their time in high school. And it's obviously so much different now in the transfer portal, but at least up until the start of last season. So everything from the Ohio State Championship through like 2010, every roster that won the college football national championship, whether it was BCS, the end of that, or into the playoff era, had a roster that was at least 50% 4 stars and 5 stars based on their high school recruiting ranking. That didn't promise anything. That didn't guarantee anything. There was usually a list of like 15 schools or so that met that. Some years it was closer to 8. But that's somewhat predictive. It's not hard, fast, set in stone rule, but it lends some credence to, hey, stars can matter.
Yeah.
But you look at that Alabama example. When I found that tweet and I saw the numbers, what it makes me wonder, Jay, is Alabama following the Texas Tech model, where they're getting top dollar free agents, if you will, out of the transfer portal and taking their version or their guys, the 3-star that they know they can develop into, to go back to hour 2, the nuts and bolts guys. And so, for Alabama, it's weird because of how Nick Saban dominated recruiting in a lot of ways for so long, how Kirby Smart took that mantle, upon himself in Georgia and whatnot. But if it works for Alabama, I want to give them credit, right? Because they could have been set in their ways. Oh, we're just going to go after the top high school talent. I think about Duke basketball like this as well. Still pursuing some one and dones, but shifting at the margins a little bit. Hey, we have to get older. Hey, we can splash this cash around this way instead. And so, yeah, they don't matter. It's you're paying to go to camps. That's how you get your stars.
Yeah.
But also, hey, these are actually some pretty good players. Surround them with more good players. You better have better chances.
Yeah, and a lot goes into it too. With how you become a good player. You could be a really good player and not be featured. That's why you see some guys are better in the pros than they are in college. Big Hoss texted in. He said McMullen left a year early, so he has a year of eligibility left. That's where you can come back. But
imagine,
yeah, that would be funny. Doug and Bennett says the 5 for 5 makes it easier to put them on the field in reference to what you were talking about. And I think one of the things that doesn't get stated or talked about enough is the re-recruitment of your roster. It's a daily grind in the wide receiver room. Conversations are had, not long conversations, but conversations have to be had. Because Khalil Taylor's supposed to be a pretty good player. They had another wide receiver commit, I think, a week or so ago. So if I'm a guy that's first or second year, okay, well, what's the deal? What does it look like? Now, granted, you can't have this conversation. I'll call it from bottom up, player to coach, or request a conversation between player and coach. I call it bottom up or level 1 or leveling up. If you haven't been handling your business personally. But I think a lot of times these kids don't care. But also,
or like you said, what they think of as handling business might not be coach's version.
And that's where, as a coach, you had to say, okay, look, I asked you to do this A, B, C, and D. You only did A and B. C and D allowed me to go recruit Mr. Taylor. This doesn't mean anything's guaranteed to him, just like it wasn't guaranteed to you. But what I can guarantee you is that you haven't been handling your business. So I also can guarantee you this is a byproduct of it. Now, they would probably recruit him anyways. So if I'm a player and I'm trying to have a conversation with a coach, I'm making sure I'm coming in there with my stuff tightened up. And what was funny? I told you off air is that Friday, Coach Tony Samuel was in town. Wanted to take, I met him downtown and he wanted the facility, tour the facility or whatever. So I walked around. I hadn't seen him in a while. It was good to talk to him. Oddly enough, we talked about my recruitment. How it came, I guess, to fruition. So obviously my dad being who he was, I always played running back, always tried to get the ball in my hands. And so, long story short, there was connection. I played against Lane Kiffin and they had like 3 or 4 other Division I dudes on his team. It was a big game. Obviously like Nick Saban, Coach Osborne, Coach Barnett, Barry Alvarez, they all were able to kind of meet up in Minnesota. It was, the game of the year. And
game of the century?
No, game of the year.
Okay.
Just game of that year. Trust me. Look, they were out there to see, all those guys. And so obviously I was able to have a good game. That was the first game I was allowed to go both ways. Our quarterback that actually ended up at Michigan hurt his foot in warmups. And so I was able to play both ways because we had to take our safety, put him at quarterback. So I was able to, and, was able to come down and, lay some hits. But Coach Sam kind of replayed it. He's like, look, you only played 2 or 3 games at safety. They kind of knew I wasn't going to play wingback. I ain't cutting the block. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not coming all the way down here. I got too much skill for that. And I saw what they had at running back. the process of elimination means I was eliminated on offense.
Defense it is.
The defense it is. And, rest in peace, George Darlington, he was dead set on the guys that he had coming in. And then so T. Sam was like, hey, yeah, you put him at linebacker, Chief. And that's when Nebraska's defense kind of shifted. But when you think about it, it was him seeing tape, a few games. I was a ranked athlete, but I wasn't like ranked what these guys are ranked.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest is history. But to talk about it with Coach Sam and talk about also him still re-recruiting me not to leave and go to Michigan after starting, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then them talking, Coach Sam was like, he can play middle. You just got to get a little bit bigger, but he can run the show.
Mm-hmm.
And him getting me to believe it. That re-recruiting your roster, it was huge for me. Because who knows if I would have went to Michigan, if I would have ever worked out. But it worked out here. It sucked at the point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is re-recruiting your roster. Recruiting doesn't stop once you get them on your team.
It can't.
You're constantly recruiting them because everybody has emotions. Everybody's trying to, do their best. And so it was good to kind of have that conversation with him that just boils over into this, that re-recruiting your roster. I think, because I think if you have good recruiters, you're always going to be able to get talent. And especially if you got money,
mm-hmm.
you're always going to be able to get talent.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's as important. I could argue with it, and I probably might lose this argument, that re-recruiting your roster is more important than recruiting. This is why. Because once you've kind of already accumulated talent, you've put time into that talent,
mm-hmm.
you've hopefully seen some growth, a lot, little, medium, or none
mm-hmm.
of all that talent, 2 or 3 years, re-recruiting them so you can get the fruits of your labor is more important than recruiting high school kids, in my opinion, because those are the guys that are going to win you games.
I think there's a time and place for both.
Sure. There's time and place for both.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the importance.
It's hard for me to say it's more important. It's important in a different way.
I just could make an argument.
Yeah, no, we can have that conversation because where recruiting your own roster is arguably more important is for that continuity, for that next step. I think if you know who you are as a program, then yes, you want to keep that same roster, right? And a lot of times we've poured this much developmental resource, into this player. They're getting better. We're seeing tangible benefits. So are they, not just in, better weight room numbers, but actual better on-field production as well. Hey, let's keep the band together. Another year of you guys going through summer workouts together. Another year of you guys learning how you communicate. It's going to be pretty good. Yeah. But if you're a bad team, well, we lost with you. We can lose without you. Maybe you need some new blood. Maybe you need to figure out what your niche is in recruiting, whether that's a position, whether that's an area of the country that you go that other places don't or don't know how to look there, and you get them. It's all different. I think that a team that's at the precipice of college football is probably going to want to spend more time re-recruiting. So again, coaching change aside, right? You don't want to lose, Caleb Downs to Ohio State. Right. They're not your direct competition, but if everything works out the way you think it will, they might be at the end of the year. Yeah. And again, I know there's the Nick Saban coaching change. So it's not the perfect example. It's just the one that came to mind. But there are other teams that need high school recruiting more than they need roster retention right now. So again, I hate to do the cop-out. Well, it's both.
I think it is both. You just got to look at it. But the reason why I guess I would sway to that is just because obviously, the talent's going to spread itself out because let's just assume everybody's got a decent amount of money to keep recruiting talent, right?
Sure.
And so you're not like a team that just doesn't have any resources. Because then you primarily would be high school just based on the amount of money you can't spend. The reason why I think it's important is because if I've put in 2 years to Austin Orman and you've shown life and you've played, but you might not be starting, but you're every year you're like, whether it's a Quinn Clark, goes from redshirting a little bit, and then you see the strides, and then this is the big year coming up, even though X recruit just committed, re-recruiting you on this present roster that's going to pay off here in about 3 or 4 months, 5, 6 months, or hopefully we play for about 9 months because we play in like the February, is more important based on a kid that could change with the wind. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
based
sure.
on how his high school season goes, or based on the growth of Austin Orman in this. He might say, you know what, this guy's actually good. I'm not going to play at all. I don't want to go through the grind that you did. That's why I think it's more important, in argument's sake, to re-recruit your roster. Just because of the present, and that's who you're going to win with.
Mm-hmm.
A class of freshmen, it's not like the Fab Five are going to come in. If you got 18 really good freshmen, you could even say 18, 5-stars. You're not coming in here winning the Big Ten. No. Also, I think years, longevity, production, continuity actually validates it. So the validation of your ranking, really, this is just like fool's gold.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes valid when your career, is ended or you're ended up going to the pros.
The other part of continuity and validation is I think there are compounding effects for rosters that have more continuity versus less continuity, because the more guys transfer, the fewer guys there are at any given program that are able to say to this incoming freshman who's sitting for the first time in their life, hey, I was in your shoes last year.
Yeah.
I was in your shoes 2 years ago. Transferring still might be the right move for you, but don't think that transferring is your only option, right? Because guess what? They recruited over me too.
Yeah.
And guess what? Now I'm the starting X. They recruited over me and now I'm the starting safety. And that's where, fit matters, paycheck matters, role matters, scheme matters. Relationships with your teammates matter too.
Yeah.
I know Grant and Jason were talking about that last week, 2 weeks ago. Someone asked, if Coach McBride had gotten a head coaching job, would you guys have followed? And they said, well, we love Coach McBride, but we love our teammates too.
Yeah.
There's that bond, so as much as, they said they played for Charlie and whatnot, appreciated him. It was the guys in the locker room with them. And so the more guys that you have that stick around that say, hey, I was in your shoes. I know it's tough right now, but I have an honest, to goodness, one-to-one relationship with you that, I'm shooting you straight. It's not just empty platitudes. The better chance you have of continuity. And that's harder to find in the transfer portal era.
Yeah, it's tough, man. But we'll see. We'll see when it's coming up. We're going to take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this Monday after 4th of July and the first official day of football season. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Transform your watch party into a full fan experience. Benny's Battle Barge from Arbor Axe House is the mobile axe throwing trailer designed for fans who want more than just to watch from the sidelines. Step into a lane and go head-to-head while the game plays on screen. It's safe, fun, and perfect for groups who take their sports and their competition seriously. Upgrade your fan headquarters today. Charter the barge at arboraxe.com or call 402-802-9696. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Heads up, LES customers, July 31st is almost here. And that's when our Fairfield Street customer lobby is closing for good. The good news, we've still got plenty of ways to support you. Find your best options at les.com.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings, thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Play ball! Some places just feel like home. In Lincoln, that place is Haymarket Park. For 25 seasons, it's where we gather with friends, with family, and our out-of-towners who want that same warm welcome. It's where kids catch their first foul ball, where we're all neighbors for at least 9 innings. Because when Salt Dogs fans root for our home team, there isn't a single stranger in the stands. So come one, come all, and let your local tradition play on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $198 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008623, $198 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 14,000 to signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 7/6/26.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see mostly sunny skies and light winds. It'll be hot with an afternoon high near 91. Tonight, mainly clear skies and light winds. The low around 69. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies return with light winds and more hot temperatures. An afternoon high near 92. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln summers are hot, but Bonsall Pool and Spa is keeping it cool. We're celebrating our 75th diamond anniversary with a massive customer appreciation party on Saturday, July 11th from 11 to 3. Come hungry for free Muchachos food truck tacos and icy snow cones. Plus, score exclusive 4-hour flash sales on BioGuard chemicals and Polaris automatic cleaners. You can even enter to win a $7,500 premium backyard sauna giveaway. Celebrate 75 years with Bonsall Pool and Spa, 33rd and Nebraska Parkway. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better.
Hey, Nebraska sports fans. This summer, professional tennis returns to Lincoln. Watch rising stars of the ATP Tour compete for over $100,000 in prize money for the 2026 Lincoln Challenger from July 12th to the 19th at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center. Witness top tennis pros compete right here in Lincoln and experience tennis close up like never before. To purchase tickets or to sign up for volunteer opportunities, please visit www.lincolnchallenger.com. Not just a stop, a stage. Lincoln Challenger 2026.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Quick segment here. Put a bow on this Monday. We're officially an hour and 6 minutes away. U.S. against Belgium.
Belgium getting these hands. Well, I guess not hands, getting these feet.
Yeah, everybody. Austin, what's your prediction?
They got to win, right? They have to win.
Yeah.
They can't not win. Not after all this rigmarole. Send Belgium back. Sad.
I think they win 3-1.
Woo! How many does Balogun get? He scored in every game he's played so far.
I think it's 1. I like a little LeBron celebration, though.
That was fun.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I saw a tweet where they said Belgium's really scared of like the 14th best player on a team in France. Because he plays over the French league. They're like, you really worry about this dude? Small. Yeah. So I think.
But here's pushback to that.
What?
Think about like Olympic basketball, like Patty Mills,
or
whatever, right? Or Nicholas Batum,
There's
right?
good
For
players,
France, right? Guys get empowered to play for their national team in a bigger role. Sometimes, watch out.
And also, just because he's over in for one club, he's probably getting paid more. He's a big fish in a small pond versus there's some guys maybe in the different European leagues that aren't as good as him individually. So, anyways, appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back again tomorrow, hopefully after a victory for USA men's soccer. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll holler at you tomorrow.